Welcome to another episode of the Grand Man Podcast. I'm your host, Harley Fox. Today on the show, we've got Liam Badger. Badge was a fitter and turner in the Royal Australian Army, and due to his professional Muay Thai background, he also got heavily involved in the Army Combatives program. Had a crack at selection and recently left the Army to join QPS, Queensland Police, and we'll learn all about that today. I just want to make a little request. If you enjoy these podcasts, in any way, shape, or form, please just take the 2 seconds it takes to just push the subscribe button. Means nothing to you. Never meant anything to me before understanding that's how you make channels grow. So if you could do me the solid and hit that subscribe, would super appreciate it. And if not, you do you. Cheers. Can you spin that camera a little tiny bit so... Yeah, that's it.
Good. Nailed
it. Cool. Let's go.
What's going on?
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, mate. It's been a while.
Yeah. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, same.
So, fucking Badger.
Badge.
Queensland Police and 2 Cav.
214, yeah.
Cav.
Yes.
Cav not armoured.
Yeah. But but like Ramey, that was my last unit. For the gun plumber by trade. So the fitter armament 146. Not by choice. Funny story. I joined as a grunt, so I believed. Ramey was my second call, and then like my second, what do you call that, preference?
Yeah.
Just sort of talked to my stepdad. Stepdad was like, you should be Ramey. They make money. Like, they get paid better. It's easy work. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to be a grunt. He's like, yeah, but that's shit work. You want to be Ramey. I was like, well, I'm going to go. So I went grunt. And it was only like week 6 or 7 at Kapuka when they give you like your pollies and your, what do you call it, your lanyard. And I had a blue lanyard. And I was like, I'm supposed to be red. Like, I'm like literally going to Singo, and they're like, "Oh no, you're signing as a fitter." And I was like, "No, I signed as a grunt. Like, fitter was my second preference." They're like, "Oh, you can change that at you get the IETs, you can just like put that through. They'll transfer you straight to Singo."
No problem. Fuck off.
Yeah, sweet. You get to the trade school, and they're like, "It's not how it works, man." You're Ramey.
Yeah. They'll just tell you what you need to hear to fucking get out of the hair.
Right, it was so straining, and then long story short, I wasn't fit for it, and it was only until they were like, you're not fit for it. You're not going to be able to be a gun plumber. It's too technical for you or whatever. You're not picking it up. And I was like, yeah, I'll show you. Knuckled down and learnt the shit I needed to learn and got through it just to spite them. And
true.
Yeah, so obviously got through it. It was a long time in IETs, just trying to relearn math. But yes, gun plumber. How good. Fuck yeah.
What's the actual trade name?
It's called a fitter armament. Like the job itself is like, I guess you work around like as a fitter and turner. So you do like, your fabrication, fitting, and like weapon systems. And you can work in like small engines as well. Predominantly, I worked in like an armory, working on the guns, so small arms and above. Then when you go to like the cavalry units, you'd work on the big guns. So they're 25mm cannons, like the ASLAVs and stuff like that. And then I got qualled in some of the AS4 variant stuff as well, some of the support weapons on that. And what was that fucking German thing that came out? I can't even think of it now. That's how much I cared about it by the end of it. It was not interesting. I can't even think of it. Whenever they replaced the the ASLAV 4, it was that big gun. We went down and worked with that in Nawa, and that was actually a really good piece of kit. Like, I was very rarely impressed by some of the weapon system, but this thing was like had this full 3-tier system that worked together, and it was really cool. Like, that was an engineered piece of kit, but then the vehicle itself doesn't work in our terrain, so they get bogged all the time. Like, I can't think of it now.
Was the Hawkeye you're talking about?
Nah, the other, I worked on a Hawkeye as well, but there was this, I should have studied it for it. That's just how uninterested I was. Yeah, it was a good piece of kit though.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're a Brizzy boy through and through?
Logan. I was Logan. Well, I was born in England, and then I grew
England?
up in
no shit.
Shrewsbury. It's like a country town. I don't know.
You don't have a fucking accent?
No, because I moved there when I was like 8 months or something. Mum and Dad separated, and we were back to Australia, and of all places, we chose Logan, and straight into the fire.
I suppose if you're not from here, then you wouldn't really know, would you?
No, well, my mum was, so that's the thing.
Oh.
She knew better. She still was like, "Oh, we'll make him tough." Yeah, so Logan it was, and went to like Waterford West Primary, and that was
So where you learned how to fight?
Well, that was my first experience with a knife. I was in grade 6. A little Indigenous kid pulled a knife on me and tried to rob me for my bike, and it was like a piece of shit, Huffy. I was like, "You can have it."
Take it.
Yeah, Woodford West, and then Marsden High.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Proper ghetto.
Yeah, that was when I learned that rugby wasn't for me because the boys were much bigger. Big Islander boys. Yeah, and I got in a bit of, not trouble, but I got in a bit of a scrap with a big Islander boy, and it actually come off on top, and it was a good day for me. I was like, this guy was bullying me for weeks, and I was like, I don't know what to do about it. Mum was like, you just give it to him. I was like, righto. And the next day at school, I got Mum's approval, and he had a crack at me, and I sorted it out, and I had no business winning a scrap, and I was like feeling on top of the world, and then his family met me in the car park and just like 4 older brothers, like 16, 17-year-olds. I was like, I didn't win that fight.
No, they don't like to fight alone.
No. You did well.
So your mum was pretty tough and rough around the edges, eh?
Yeah, she was. That's where
Aussie or?
Yeah, Aussie. Yep.
She was living over in England. Is your dad's English?
Yeah. So like my whole dad's side's English. My whole mum's side is English. Besides my mum's mum, like my grandma. So like her dad's English. My dad's whole family's English. Yeah. But he moved down when we moved over as well. So he went Gold Coast, and we went Logan.
Yeah, right.
The good stuff. But finished with Logan High. And then moved to Narangba when I was like 14. Just grew up around here, so yeah.
Narangba when you're 14?
Yeah, Narangba High. You know where Narangba is? It's
up north.
Yeah. It's like less Logan, but still Logan-esque. Like it's,
really?
It's fancier than Logan, though.
Like all Caboolture, North Woodridge.
Redcliffe, Logan by the water.
Yeah, Logan by the sea. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah, man.
So when did you get into the fight game?
I think I was 16. So I was a basketball player of all things because Logan, Marsden High showed me I wasn't going to be good at rugby. Just kept getting chopped by the big boys. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to try something else. So I was playing basketball for a bit, and I was obsessed. Like I get obsessive about things when I start them. And within like a week of playing basketball, I was like, yep, that's me. I'm going to be in the NBA for sure. Like just playing like every day. And then one of my mates was talking about Muay Thai, and I didn't even know what it was. But I was like, fighting? Like I wouldn't mind learning how to fight. And went to this like little KO martial arts gym in Redcliffe, and he was like a karate instructor.
Hang on, let's take this fucking jacket off. I feel like it's going to infuriate people with the... Hear that noise?
Oh, true, yeah. Looks cool, but...
KO martial arts, that's where... Is that where you train with fucking Alex?
Yeah, Alex Hollis. Yeah, we identified just earlier that me and you have fought the same guy.
Yeah.
Probably more than one, to be honest.
I beat him, you didn't?
Yeah. All right, the history is I was winning and then easily for 3 rounds, and then got chipped in the 3rd round, and he wobbled me. I thought he just wobbled me. Alex dropped me, and then I come to and made the count, no dramas, but they give you an 8-10, so... I lost, or like we got a split points draw, which was I thought dog shit, but
yeah,
that's part of the rule set, I suppose. Yeah,
not a loss.
Nah, should pull it up here and watch it. Critique. Keep your hands up, you dickhead. KO martial arts, run by Steve Robinson. He was a karate guy that was like teaching Muay Thai, and had a couple of good guys. And I went to one session, and I learned what sparring was because I didn't know what the fuck sparring was, but. You know, the Logan in me thought sparring was a fight, and so they were like, it was sparring. And like the bell goes, and this guy's like got his hands up in front of me. I'm like, sweet. And I remember I didn't even have gloves. I had like karate mitts on. But me. And I just punched him clean in the face like as hard as I could. Like, and that's going to really help a spar when you're like, the guy's like a fighter. And I was like, yeah. Anyway, so I got folded in half, and I was like fighting stupid. Like I went to quit. I was like picking scabs out of my nose. Like, I'm not going back to this stupid gym. And I was like, I'm going to go back one more time and I'm going to get this guy. So I went back that Wednesday. Same thing. I like picked him out of the crowd for sparring. Like I was waiting for it. Like, I fold this dude because I didn't know what sparring was. I just got folded by the guy. Bell goes again. And I just drove it home again. Like punched him clean in the face. But I got a couple more than last time, and then he flogged me again. I was like, I didn't know how to kick. I didn't know how to deal with kicks. I didn't know how to check or move. I was just trying to scrap. And he folded me again. But I got a few more on him, and I was like, I can get this dude. And that's pretty much how I got addicted to it. I was like, quit basketball the next day. I was trying to kill this one dude.
Fucking created a deficit. Some poor fucking
he had no idea.
dad.
Yeah. No, he was a younger fella.
Playing for fun.
he was a younger fella that was like an angry dude as well, like rough Redcliffe boy. And within about 4 months, I think I'd earned my like little spot in there. But how I come to fighting, because I never even watched a boxing match. Like, but I remember they were like, there was fighters, and I wanted to be a part of the fighter crew, and how they sort of picked when you were ready for a fight was they were just like would Shark Tank you, I suppose. Like it was pretty weird. Like there was no real test besides like, were you tough enough? And I've still got the shakes from the ice bath. I'm still like quivering. That's cold.
My nose is like fucking annoying.
Yeah. No. So they're like,
we had an ice bath.
Yeah, we did. First ones to do it is the sauna. I fucking can't stand sauna. The ice bath was cold. Good, but cold. Yeah, so they just like you'd spar like fighter after fighter, and if you sort of held your own, they would be like, all right, you can fight. And I remember like the coach, I was getting folded by everyone because I wasn't good. And coach like Steve had walked off, and he'd come back at the same time of like I've kicked, like his name was Jacob at the time. I kicked him, and he caught it. And he sort of went to like sweep me, and as he went to sweep me, I'd like just sort of like kick out of the push kick, but like hit him in the liver or something, and he dropped him. Oh, and Steve saw me drop one of the fighters. He's like, "Yeah, you can fight, mate. If you can drop one of the fighters, you fight." And there I have myself like yeah, literally, and like I was getting flogged for the whole time, and so he signs me up for my first scrap, and still remember the dude's name, Jimmy Richards, good dude. We still chat maybe every couple of years. Like he only had like, maybe 3 fights, but
where was that?
Yeah, it was at, I think it might have been Carnage Caboolture. Like it was like an old show. There was like Rampage at Redcliffe and Carnage at Caboolture. It was like this play on words, like Carnage, like Caboolture. Rampage, Redcliffe. Like, okay. Can't remember who ran it. Some ISK show. It might have been Peter Beazle at the time. Yeah, and what was it? Yeah, Jimmy Richards, and he was a much better fighter from First Strike Gym. Like he was more technical, but I just remember like, do you remember the old bombs? Did you ever see the old? Yeah, the old bomb on there. It can't be legal, man. So for everyone listening that doesn't know the fight game, there's like old strapping tape, and guys would like run it out so it'd be like nice and long, and then roll it into like a thin strip, and then they would just like pack it on top of each other, like fold like a samurai sword, I suppose, until it was like this thick bar. And I remember like old gyms would like drive over them on their cars to get them compact enough, and then you would like bomb them onto your knuckles. So you had this like extension like this on your gloves, and you'd force your gloves on, and so we had the bombs, and it just reminds me of like the old Simpsons episode, Mo Sislak's like pulls the gloves out and it's got the barbed wire, and he's like, I call them the stinger. That's what it was like. And I just remember looking at this thing like, fuck, what do I do? And
like, and he comes with a fucking concrete fucking block.
Literally. And coach was just like, fucking hit him as hard as you can. I was like, sweet. And bell goes, and I hit him with 2 clean shots, and the second punch like literally opens his face up, like big gash. And I just remember in between rounds, they would like pack it full of silicone. Well, like, not silicone, but
Vaseline.
Silicone. Yeah, Vaso go, like, they put Vaso in, and I'd just hit it, and it would like pop like a zit. And I just kept aiming for it. And like that was pretty much the whole fight. It was just me fighting from the hip, just like, and then, winning on points. And I was like, this is sick.
How old were you?
16, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that was the itch, I think. That was just kept going from then on. It's good.
How many fights you end up having?
Fuck. I get confused. I think around 28 Thai boxing, and I had 5 boxing. So
okay,
I think it'd be 28 or 27. I have to write them all down, but I can't remember. I don't even have many discs anymore. Like I used to have all my fights. Yeah. And
I was thinking that the other day, like it's so sad that we fought when we did because fucking, you know, there wasn't even HD fucking cameras or anything.
No.
Like there was no fucking phones or they had like the old camcorders fucking set up and so sketch.
Some of them, like I had all like cam recordings of a few of my like early. I had most of them at one stage. Like my first 10 or 11, I had like this little folder full of them.
The disc, yeah.
Yeah, and then as I started fighting on more pronounced shows, I got better footage of it. But I've got one professional disc of like a fight I lost, like, but it was my second last fight, so it was like a good showing of myself. But it was after I tore my ACL, like the first time, and I was probably at my best. I was definitely at my best just prior to that ACL tear. That ACL tear really like threw a spanner in the works. Even though I was still fighting good guys, I wasn't the same fighter ever again. Like I didn't find the power, or maybe I rushed the rehab. I was like, after ACL Rico, probably jumping ahead a bit, ADD. Right. But after the ACL Rico, I was like 9 months after I'd had a full pro fight, like, which you probably shouldn't be kicking 6 months after an ACL. Well, you definitely probably shouldn't. You'd know better than I would. I didn't listen anyway. But yeah, so definitely didn't have the power I used to have. And then, But how old were you in 95?
Oh, fucking pretty old. I think I was like 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get into it till, my fucking late 20s.
Yeah.
2011, I had my first fight. So, 29.
Yeah, right. It's a good age to start, man. Like, I look back at it and I see a lot of guys that started young and burn out. They get to...
You know, the fucking funny thing was that back then, remember how like 40 was old, 50 was like grandpa, 60 was fucking half 1 foot in the grave.
Yeah.
And now like everything's sort of slid and fucking right.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was 29, Shaggy, Preacher, all the boys that had 20, 30 fights, they were like all retiring and like, they were 32. They're like, oh, you can't fight, you peak at fucking 30 and it's all downhill fucking. And then, now it's like 35 is your athletic peak for fighting because you got the fight intelligence and the ring IQ and the fitness and everything. I was like, fucking. So when I was 29, I'm like, I've got to hurry up. I've got to
run out of time,
get fit and get in the ring as quick as I can. And then I was 30 and had 3 fights. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm done.
Hang up the glove.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny now, man, because like I got a good mate of mine, Wezzo. He's doing really well now with his like construction business. But he was working full time, like just as a labourer or a chippy, in like civil construction. And he come to the gym at maybe 32, like the age I'm at now. Like he'd boxed like substantially. He was an Irish fella. He still is Irish. He didn't lose his Irish heritage. And but he like our gym was like we had a few fighters, but I remember walking to the gym one day, I could hear like boom, boom, boom on the bag, and I was like, no one hits the bag like that. I hit the bag like that. Walk in and there's this mad Irishman and hitting the bag, and he could really box, but like never thrown a kick in his life.
Yeah,
like he started at 32, and he was throwing like spinning roundhouse kicks in 3 months. Like had his first fight in 3 months, like won it super convincing. Was throwing spinning roundhouse kicks in the cage, like just didn't care, just wanted to fight, and he ended up winning a world title at like 37. It was like Army world title. It was still world title. Went to Germany, fought like this huge Russian, sparked him. Yeah, man, super disciplined. He would have had, I think he had maybe 2 pro fights. They didn't end well. There was a huge riot after one of them. It's still a funny story. Fought Nick Atkins. You remember Nick Nightmare Atkins?
Nah.
He was Boonchu bred.
Okay.
Like a good heavyweight. Like he had a lot of pro fights. Fought some like big names. And then Wezzo's like first pro fight was against him. Like Wezzo had like maybe 7 or 8 amateur fights undefeated. Just smoked everyone. It was like, I'm going pro. And then fought like Nick Atkins, who'd had like 30 odd pro fights and both didn't care. And basically it was K1 rules, like K1 pro, so you can knee the head. You can't elbow. So it's like, kickboxing, not Muay Thai, and
Yeah.
he's punching holes through him, like making a mess basically of the fight, and Nick's trying to survive the fight, and he bends, like sort of drops his head, and Wes just knees him in the face, like wobbles him, falls against the ropes, and the ref jumps in. It's like, no knees to the head, no knees to the head. Like, it's confused the rules. Like amateur K1, you can't knee the head. Pro, you can. And it was like amateur all night, and then there was a pro event, and I guess that was where the line was confused. Anyway, he sort of clarifies the fact that you can knee the head, but he never put Wes in the neutral corner either. So Wes is sitting in like the blue corner, not been like, like the fight should be like paused, neutral corner. And Nick's like dazed, getting a rest, laying on the ropes. And Wes looks over, and when the ref recognizes, like, oh, it's knees to the head, because he speaks to the manager, and they're like, no, it's knees to the head. Pardon me. And then Wes just walks forwards and just fucking hits him with the right hand while he's elbowed, like he's just laying on the ropes. Like the ref's sort of gone like, fight, because he's realised like he's done the wrong thing, and then sort of stopped in the way, and Wes has just walked past the ref and like dog shot at it. Anyway, it turned into a huge riot. The fight got cancelled. I just had ACL Rico, so I'm like on crutches trying to help corner him, and then it's like bottles being thrown in the ring. Like, fuck.
What was that at?
Morayfield, the basketball complex there. Yeah.
Rough.
Yes, it was a rough sport, the old Muay Thai.
Yeah, back in the days, remember when I was starting, there was a few gyms that were still owned by blackers, and dudes doing fucking lines of coke out the back when they're warming up and stuff. And
I never saw that. Yeah, right.
Fucking dangerous. The biker dudes were making you sign contracts and stuff, and taking your purse. And
yeah, okay. I fought on one of the shows that was like, I remember now being affiliated, but I still didn't see any of that. I just remember just seeing everyone else rough as in the crowd.
Rough as guts. Yeah. There's a couple of them still going now. I'm sure they're cleaned up a bit there.
Yeah.
My old coaches are all fucking dispersed. Fucking shaggy's on the run.
Jesus.
Cool. So you fucking Narangba High, and then did you get some civvy jobs?
Yeah, man. During school, I pretty much work at every fast food outlet you could work at, except Hungry Jack's. Apparently the burgers are better. I cannot confirm. Macca's and Red Rooster and a couple of fish and chip shops. I worked with this Pommy couple. They were both ex-coppers that own this fish and chip shop as well. They were just cool. Like, they were rough as, in the sense that like they made you work, but they were cool, really cool. Yeah. And then I laboured out of school. I went and worked for as a subby for Altec, like just building patios and stuff like that, which I hated. But I was like going to TAFE at the time, studying like diploma in justice, and I didn't try in school at all. So like 6 months into the diploma, I pulled out generally because like my boss was like, I need you to work full time. You can't work 3 days a week. And like I was going, TAFE 2 days a week. And he was like, I need you to work 5 days a week. And I was like, well, I'm going to TAFE. And he's like, well, I don't need you then. Cut me off. So then but I was always probably going to drop out of TAFE because I didn't even know how to study.
Yeah. So
I was like, I always wanted to be police, but I was definitely not mature enough at that time. I didn't even know how to bloody study. So I was like, righto, Army it is. And then put in the app. And
how old were you then?
18. Oh. I think I got in. I had my 19th birthday at Kabuga.
Yeah.
Just sitting in the hallways, cleaning our gats. I remember we'd done the challenge, like the Kabuga challenge. I think that's what it was called.
With the bayonet course and that?
The bayonet course, bayonet assault course, and the stores carry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
On my birthday, which was sick. I remember just thinking, fuck yeah, like I love the bayonet assault course. I remember like just I couldn't do something on the bayonet. I remember just like it might have been like, you rack the weapon on the head of the dummy. I just couldn't knock it over, and I was just like fuck, and just like end up Spartan kick, like full front kick to the face, and just drop this thing, and just like drove my like bayonet through its like head, and the sergeant was like, fuck yeah, like, this is a fucking bit. Yeah, it was sick. I actually fucking fought it. And that was, I was like, couldn't wait to get to Singo. Wrong. You got a bloody, when I go Bandiana and do the IETs of being a tradie.
Yeah, nice.
Completely different gig. We pretty much didn't wear cams for like 22, 24 months. Like you'd wear like your battle PT, but you're just learning math and how to file and how to use a lathe. I was like, what are we shooting guns and stabbing stuff? Like, what are we doing?
So you knuckled down in that because they told you you're going to be shit at it?
Yeah, well, I was terrible at it. I didn't know how to do so I remember doing math in school. I wasn't terrible at it, but in grade 10, I just didn't have the focus for it. And they're like trying to teach me like transposition and like trigonometry. And I was like, no one's going to use this ever. This is stupid. Like, I'm not doing it. And I went to like pre-vocational math. Like day one, Ramey training, pull out a book, transposition, trigonometry, go. And I'm like, this must be the only job in the world that actually needs So I had to learn it. And like, obviously, Army, if you didn't learn, like you're being like bozzed and like kicked off course and stuff like that. And it was only when they were like, you're not getting it, you're not suitable, see you later. And I was like, no, I'll show you. And so like I was studying every night. One of my best mates I know through like Tom Brown as well, like Jesse, he was like really good at math. Well, he had to learn as well. He sucked, but he like learned as well. And so I'd go to his room every afternoon. We'd just study. So it was like
nice.
3 hours of math. It's the worst. But I got it, like I picked it up and got through and I've like finished the trade. Then you go into like, I got posted to Brizzy. Pretty lucky there. And did, whatever it was, years and years at Brizzy really. But all the, like you do your IETs, which is like 12 months in all different units and working with all you do like 6 months, 1 month with like a grunt unit and you do 1 month with like a CISB or whatever. And I was like, I just don't want to go to a fucking CISB. And I got posted to 214 was the first one. I was like, sweet. And I did 12 months there. And they were like, yeah, time's up, like off to CISB. And I did 3 years in CISB and fuck.
Oh, did you?
Yes, hated it. It was hard because you just support they're just not your weapons that you thought you were joining the army to work beside. There was a lot of guys that were just like eating like dimmies and pies and super uninspiring. And they're your supervisors.
Oh, fucking human weapons.
Oh, mate, every day. And they did like, we'd be walking chits, the old chit blankets that have like fucking, can't run, can't walk, can't breathe. Like, what are you doing? And then a trip would come up and the boys would be off, like they'd get all their chits removed and go get a trip out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, you haven't been doing PT for the last 3 years, but okay. That was my time at CISB. Yeah.
Did you ever think about going fucking transferring to Grunts?
Yeah, man, a few times. It was just like probably putting like there was multiple times where I thought about doing it, but it was also like taking a pay cut. And I wanted more than the Grunts. Like when I did time at Grunts, I could see that they weren't super inspired either. Like I thought they were doing a lot of breezeway time, and every now and then when they did get to the range, they weren't super stoked on it. There were guys that were weapons that loved it, but there's a lot of dudes that were just like sit in the breezeways and clean cats and hate it too. So I was like, there's got to be more than just that. But that was sort of before I ever even contemplated SF at all. It's just like I'm not there. Like I'm not good for that. They're special. Never gonna have a crack at that. But it's just eh?
How long were you in total?
11 years.
Yeah. So did you based on your fighting stuff, you said you were fucking punching on with Islanders and stuff when you were younger. Did you stop fighting on the streets once you started fighting professionally? Or in the ring?
No. The honest truth is no. But like never got myself in trouble. But it was never like I'd go out and I suppose look for it, but it found me a lot. Like I had a lot to prove as a young fellow, I suppose. And it was just like I had this inability to take a backward step. So if someone like had insulted a friend of mine or something like that, I was like, yeah, I want to do something with this. Like, not that I would start it, but I would just ensure that they knew that they messed up, and it would just be like fronting someone, like calling a spade a spade. You've been a dick. Like, don't be a dick.
Someone's going to teach them.
Yeah, well, they would always make the first move. I just let them know, hey, You're a dick. People don't like that.
Where do you reckon the need to prove someone came from?
Probably, I don't know. Probably just my youth, I suppose, being a kid.
Your only child?
No. One of 8. So half brothers, step brothers, half sisters, stepsisters. So the Brady bunch. It's a.
Are you all stay together the whole time? Or?
No. I'll try and break it down as easy as possible. Mum and Dad have my older sister and me. They separate. I'm 8 months old. We moved to Australia. He comes over. Dad meets another bird, my stepmom now. They have 2 boys.
Right.
My mum gets with another fella, has my sister. They then separate. My mum gets with my now stepdad. He has 2 kids already, a girl and a boy. And then they have a son together, which is obviously my younger brother.
Fucking Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch, mate. Fucking chaos.
Brady Bunch in steroids.
Just buy a TV and stop having children. Swear to God. You nailed it at 2. Just like, I was perfect. Just leave it there. So pretty chaotic. But good, like in the sense like I've got a relationship with pretty much all of my siblings. Need to prove myself. I don't know. I just like it was not that I needed to. Probably did. Still do. I'm still trying to prove myself. I think we all are really. I don't know. I didn't like being disrespected, I suppose. The second stepdad or the first stepdad I was talking about, he was pretty violent as we were growing up. And I think he took a lot from us from when we were younger in that sense. That I was like, didn't like people standing out. I don't like bullies, never liked bullies. And I think that's a big part of it. Potentially. I just like got to the point like you got stood over so much. You're only going to take so much more for, like there's one day like the clutch point hits and you're like, I'm not taking a backward step anymore. And maybe it was that. But I had that from a pretty young age, like maybe 10. I was arrogant enough to go like, I'm going to lose this fight, but I'm going to fight it. Like and then you did that, like the bully stopped. The bully didn't get the result he wanted. He might have still kicked your ass, which happened a lot, like for sure, but still didn't like the first one I landed, like that was my mentality, is just have a bit of grit. Like
I think that's about when I fucking started as well. I think it was about 10 and I cracked a kid on the oval fucking playing marbles. And I was like, fucking marbles. He was trying to stand over me for some fucking marbles. So I fucking punched him in the jaw and that was it. I never let a bully stand over me. Yeah, same sort of thing. Just like because you're the one willing to throw down, you end up defending your mates and stuff.
Yeah, as well. I think that's a big one. And like, it's not the result the bully wants. The bully wants marbles, right? Like he wants to walk all over you, and if you just don't give them that resolve, like I think it's like they may still get the marbles, but they're getting a black eye with it. Like, it's a shit trade-off. Like there's easier targets out there, and I think
that's it. They're not going for the fucking ones that'll throw back.
Yeah. And I was small, man. Like I like in grade 11, I suppose I was a bit taller. Like I'm about 6 foot now, but after my spine injury, I'm 5'11". So I've been measured a couple of times now. I'm like 181, but I used to be 183. I swear to God. So I'm like that short king now. When his height starts at 5, like, I was like getting the nurses. No, just double check that. I'm pretty sure I'm 183.
Yeah,
181, mate. Oh, I'm gonna have to get some like high heels or something. But I was like pretty short and skinny and like scrawny, and then grade 11, grade 12, I had a bit of a what do you call that? A growth spurt, I suppose. I got a bit taller, but I definitely stayed very skinny. Spewing.
Fucking vacuum is annoying me. I wonder if you can hear it in there.
Okay, kick the door and take
I've never even fucking heard it before.
Yeah.
New neighbours must be just there.
How dare they clean their house?
Yeah,
they don't know that
rude.
The Grey Man podcast is happening right now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'll have to fucking write a strongly worded letter and put it under their door.
Yeah, let them know.
Distracted. Fucking.
Talk about marbles.
Yeah, all the marbles.
Marbles, mate.
I was just cracking cunts for marbles.
The good old days.
I'm literally the same, bro. 183, and I got one of those tests done the other day. where you get the in-body fucking scans.
Like a DEXA?
Yeah, but one of those where you like stand on the thing and you hold the
yeah.
things and fucking, they're not accurate, but they're accurate against themselves. So if you get them done repeatedly, you can see your progress.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, that has like a fucking thing that comes down and tells you your height and weight.
Yeah.
It was so 181.5. I'm like, fuck off. I'm 183.
Yeah.
I'm 6 foot even. I always have been.
Yeah, me too, mate. I don't know what happened. So
Yeah, just fucking lose the cartilage in between your fucking vertebrae.
bit of spine damage.
Bit of compression.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk
Carrying
around,
packs and shit.
walking around my tippy toes from now on. Fuck it.
I'm still 6 foot. I don't care what you say.
100%. I feel 7 foot. Mate. I don't care, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So yeah, you fucking and what about when you joined the army and with your fight stuff, you kept going or?
Yeah, man. I had about 11 before I joined, and then like I thought when I was joining the army, because I always wanted to join the army as well. Like I remember getting this like not friend on Facebook, but like I went to primary school with this girl, and she sent me a photo when I was like maybe a year after I joined the army. She's like, oh, you drew this in like grade 2, and she had like all of our drawings from the class, and it was like me when I'm older, and it was like me in a camouflage uniform, and then me in a like police uniform. Like I always wanted to do it. Like as a kid, I just knew that was what I'm going to be, and then I was like 20, like in the army. Like I was like, oh, this is, I didn't even realize like I had that, but I remember like when I wanted to join the army, I was like, everyone's going to be a weapon. Everyone's going to fight. Everyone's going to be like they're soldiers, right? So I don't want to be the only guy that hasn't won a state title. So like I wanted to win like at least a state title before I joined, so that I'd be like one of the boys. And I didn't. I fought for a state title. Got my femur broken in the 4th round or something. Just I ended up getting stopped for it. So
that's the show that we both did.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
For the same show,
What if we're in the same corner warming up?
Yeah, maybe, man. Like, I wouldn't remember now. I'd have to look back. I'd have to find the discs.
Yeah, have a look at the...
Because we'd be on the same disc.
Yeah, we would, yeah.
Yeah, same fight show. But yeah, so like I joined, and I remember asking at Kabuka, like, oh, do people fight? Like, it's not a proof sport. You're not allowed to fight while you're in the army. No head contact sport, they're allowed. I'm like, rugby, head contact all the time. That's allowed. Boxing, not allowed. So I was like, righto. Pretty much finished all the IETs, came back at maybe like 22, 23, had my first fight back during the army. And that was against the guy that you fought, Alex Wallace.
Okay.
But I just do it on the DL, like army wouldn't know about it. I'd just be like, yep, just the weekend for me, mate. And like I would go out and Toowoomba and punch on, and like the boys would come, like a lot of the army boys would come and watch, and had a...
Well, that's funny. There was a few army boys. Remember one of my shows had, it was 214 actually. Fucking remember Dan Chapman. Do you know Chapo?
Might. Name doesn't ring a bell. I know a few Chapman.
Yeah, fucking Lucas something or other. He was at 214 and he came and fought. We fought at out Cleveland. And fucking like 214 boys came in the crowd cheering them on.
The boys. Well, that was probably the best. The promoters knew, like, especially my later fights, knew I was bringing 30 to 100, like AJs that drink, like they're going to create the vibe. Like every show, I was like easily selling 50 tickets to AJs. So they knew, like, if we bring Batch, he's going to bring a crowd. Like, and it was maybe half of them wanted to see me win, the other half wanted to see me get KO'd. But either way, it was really good for my like opportunities. So I fought some sick belts. Which I probably shouldn't have got the chance, but they knew they were going to make money out of me by coming because I was going to bring a crowd. So, what was that about? Yeah, so like first fight back, fought in Toowoomba, and then continued on, just would hide the fact that I was fighting and continued
to rock up with a black line.
Yeah, and it was frowned upon, but no one ever like really kicked off at it. And then I got an opportunity to fight overseas at one of the world titles. So in, what was it, the WMOs, World Martial Arts Organisation, I think it was, at the time, and that was in the UK. And I was in my IET phase, I think, at the time. And Yeah, and they supported it. Work supported it. They were like, sweet, and helped me actually get some sponsorship, and so I got like sponsorship over there and went and fought. And
just a change of policy or good bosses?
Just good bosses, mate. Just like put in they gave me like no one got leave in their first year of like the IATs, and they gave me like a month off. I went to the UK, fought at the WMO World Championships, and then backed it up 7 days later and fought in the Waco, like World Association Kickboxing Organization, their world titles in Serbia, which is fucking cool. So I won over in the UK, fought dude from Dubai and France. I don't know. I'm from Logan, mate. France. Who you kidding? Yeah, France. And I remember he's just this real cocky dude, and he came over to me and basically asked if I had health insurance in French, but like with his little accent, like, whoa. And I was like, you fucking wanker. And I ended up breaking his nose, like the worst I've ever broken on someone's face. I just smashed him with leg kicks, and then I remember like throwing a right hand at the pipe, and he'd like looked into it. So he looked across from like eating the right hand, and it like his like beak was like flat across his like cheek. It was bad. It was really bad. It like separated. It was awesome. Anyway, yeah, completely. Like it was straight to the emergency room for that fella. And he came back maybe like 2 days after the tournament, and his like whole face was like in like rhinoplaster and like stitches and shit everywhere. I was like, you got health insurance, bro? But yeah, I won both of those. It was like it was an awesome show. There was like thousands of people. I never fought in front. I fought in like local shows, and then there was 1,000 people there easily in the crowd. But the quality wasn't for a world title. I expected to have like the hardest fights of my life, and it wasn't that. It was like dudes that were good at best. Like there was a couple of Russians that were in a weight category below me that were animals, and I was like supposed to fight at that category, but I ended up getting moved up last minute for some reason, and so I fought in like a 72.5, and I was a 69 kilo fighter. Thank God, because there was like Russians just putting people to bed forever like with their left hand. I was like, oh God, thank God I'm not in that category. But yeah, I ended up winning that, which was cool. And I went over with a couple of OGs like Aaron Corden. Did you ever meet Aaron Corden? He was a coach for Maroochydore Thai boxing gym at the time. We made some really good fighters. Bevan O'Malley was one of them, the guy that broke my leg, and Ryan McDonald, another good fighter from their gym. Like he had a couple of good guys. But he brought Tyson Harrison over when Tyson Harrison was hitting. You'd probably know Tyson Harrison as he's an Aussie that fought over and won championships.
I know Tyson. I used to train with him at
Corporal. Yeah, actually, Glenn. Glenn was his
Glenn Hodges. Yeah.
So we took him over when he was like 14.
Oh, true.
And he fought for a world title as well. Fought this fucking awesome pommy kid who beat him, but it was a close fight. But this kid was well schooled. He would have had 200 contests. Like they do it different in the UK. They don't. Everyone's like, if you're not fighting elbows, you're not fighting. Like no shin guards, no elbow pads. Like the juniors will be wearing body shields, head guards, elbow pad, shin guards. They're not allowed to punch the head till they're like 14. So the kids will have 200 contests, not get injured, but they have so much ring experience. Like they are very good at what they do. Like they know how to use the ring. They know how to fight in front of a crowd. There's no anxiety there whatsoever. They're just animals. So by the time they take the headgear off and stuff, they're not getting damaged because they've been protected the whole time. They know how to move. They know how to fight. Yeah. So Tyson had 10 fights maybe, and he was in the world titles fighting against this guy that had 200 contests. And like he fought awesome, but the kid was just better. Like it was just a better kid won on the day, but it was an experience. You give Tyson 200 fights. Like Tyson today would kill that kid. Like
he's a fucking animal now.
Yeah, man.
His one highlights come up on my Instagram all the time. I fucking love it.
Yeah, man. And he it kills me because he's so tall and lanky, and he could easily outfight these Thais by just keeping his length and maybe not being the superstar that he is. But he will stand and trade with the short dudes. Like he doesn't give a fuck. He just to the win, mate. We'll just go elbow for elbow with this guy that's 5 inches shorter than him. Like, brother, if you just sat there and teeped and jabbed him, you win all day. But he's a showman, he puts on the show. So
fucking earth, what a John Wayne Nui.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's him. Yeah. I couldn't fight like that. I was never that tough. I would just play the game and win the fighter. Eating elbows for $1,000.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah, he's an animal.
When did you get integrated into Army Combatives?
Oh, yeah. Well, so when I tore my ACL, I couldn't fight anymore, and I went down because I heard about this thing, this Combatives. What did they call? I guess it was a Combatives gym, but it was just like a big shed at the time. And I don't know if you ever saw the old one, but it was like the old headquarters gym or brigade gym that had been given to Aaron Johnson. You would have met Aaron.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I still catch up with him now. He's the best boss I've ever had.
Yeah, nice.
He got his CSM before he got out, his conspicuous service medal, like proper, just a fucking jet. Super resilient dude. Super resilient dude. Great leader. He told me basically to come down. Heard I had a bit of experience. She's a vacuuming again. She's
Fucking
vacuuming the ceiling.
This is out of control. Hang on, just pause for a sec.
Yeah, mate.
They might be doing the fucking hallway. So, where were we? Oh, yeah. How'd you get involved with Army Combatives?
That's right. So I think Jono threw out the invite, so I came down and had a look at it because I was like, I've torn my ACL, I can't do, so I may as well coach. That's what they say when you can't do.
How'd you meet him?
He's like, come for a brew. I was like, bro, I gotta, like, it was like after PT time, and he's like, we'll go meet at Grub Street. That was his little go-to. And
oh no, Aaron Johnson.
yeah, he's like we went for a brew. It was like 9:30, so I was like supposed to be back at work, and I'm like, I'm with him long enough, so he'll cover me. So we went and had a coffee, and he's like, yeah, look, we need like a bit of a culture change. There's a lot of guys doing jiu-jitsu, but no one's striking, no one's fighting, no one's doing the violent shit. You know.
How did he know you? Had you been doing combatives tournaments or something?
No combatives at all. No wrestling, no jiu-jitsu, nothing like that. Strictly striking. Might have been word of mouth. I don't know, but he's like, we'll go for chat. I need a striking coach, and so we talked a bit of shit, and he was like, well, you can run a session tomorrow. I was like, I got to get approval, bro. I can't just run class, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a digger. So I spoke to my boss. I wasn't doing PT at the time. I'm like, the Combative Centre at the time, which was just a gym, wants me to run a session. I ran this striking session. There's like 90 grunts walking for some kickboxing. I was like, never ran class this big. Like, I ran a gym at the time, and when I was in the army, I ran a gym the whole sort of time. I had 1 foot in fighting, 1 foot in army. Never really fully committed to either. And so I was like, all right, I'll run a striking session for people, and they all sort of bought into it. They fucking fought. They were doing some like Dutch kickboxing drills and just like check sparring, basically, like going through defending jabs, bosses, hooks, kicks, really basic stuff. Because you get some animals that have fought before, and then you get the dude that has 4 left feet that doesn't know anything. And you're like, okay, well, I can't turn this into advanced striking because old mate doesn't know how to breathe. And then vice versa, you get like some of the really good guys who get quite bored because you're doing the basic check spar, but they sort of had a lot of buy-in right up until I found out I was a poke, and then they were like, we'll run our own training lid. Like, I was like, cool, man, that's sweet. And it took a while, like, for people actually, once they found out I was like a fitter, they were like, no, you don't have to fight, mate. Like, I'm a wolf fighter. Like, you know, like that's what we do. And I remember getting offered out by a few grunts. They're like, well, we spar on Wednesdays, mate, so you want to come in on Wednesday? I was like, yeah, man, I'll be there. Right. And I was like 3-4 months post ACL Rico. I'm like, fucking stand bang with these dudes and earn some respect. And that's what happened. Like, literally jumped in the ring with a couple of these guys that were like big dudes, wanted to have a crack, but they were like, that had like 2 fights to, you know, maybe like 15 or 20 at the time. So it was like, easy money, but just that you should have taken that. But like after that, the boys were like, oh, so what would you do here? What would you do here? And like, they started word of mouth, and I started to build it back up a little bit more. No, everyone had buy-in. Everyone wants to learn from Poke, and that's cool. Like, there's obviously a thing there, but
so more for the CQB sort of stuff, or
well, I really stayed in my lane. I never really taught CQB as such. Like, I definitely didn't teach CQB.
What were they doing down in the
cells? So we would teach like basic, like I guess room floor combat. We would teach them principles behind entry, like your basics, you know, like threat assessments, door analysis. But it was really, really low level stuff. It was the guys that were attached to the cell, like all the ex-shooters that were attached, they were running that. I was just like handbagging with them, like learning on the fly with those guys. Like, I actually never really received any formal training or any courses. I just was on the back end of those, watched them work. They would take me in our own time. They'd take me down to the cells, and we'd go through like how you would, you know, like door appreciation and room entry and floor tactics and floor combat and stuff. And that's how I learned, was through, you know, like soldiers' fives as opposed to proper theory courses. And sorry, mate.
Bring the mic way closer.
Yeah, so that was how that worked. But the initial attachment, I suppose, to the Combative Centre was just run some striking. Jono was pretty quick to say afterwards, I need to learn jiu-jitsu. So I started rolling. I was getting smoked by dudes, little nerds on the ground, just fucking putting me guard. It was the hardest, I don't know what you call that. What do you call that? I was super like trying to be political here, gayed out by jiu-jitsu. The first few times I tried it, I was like just sitting in someone's guard. I'm like, this isn't it. Like some dude got my back now. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. There's all the jokes with fucking when you're a Muay Thai fighter.
Oh yeah, it was just the boys like having pajama parties.
Yeah. Go. That I like that fucking the jiu-jitsu one. It's like Muay Thai fighters calling jiu-jitsu guys gay. Meanwhile, they're in sequin shorts. Go, ooh,
ain't that the truth? Like it's all of it, you know. There you go. But the more you do it, like man, I've fought jiu-jitsu now. Like probably not jiu-jitsu, catch wrestling is probably where my like I guess mind is on. I'm not like fully attached to any of them anymore, especially striking. I sort of. When I finished, and that was like I'll still hold the pads every now and then for a couple of the boys at work, or a couple of some of my old mates will get in there and box in the garage every now. I've got a home gym set up. You have to come over here out one time and see the place. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I've got like a little setup there, and I do that. But I definitely prefer the wrestling side now. It's more probably job specific too. What we do, it doesn't look good on 60 Minutes elbowing people. You just do you control the techniques? Yeah. You just uppercut elbow.
Yeah, fucking talking about dudes with 2 left feet and stuff. I remember when I came through with the officer cadets and you were teaching us.
Oh yeah.
And
some spoons,
Oh mate, so funny, eh? Just no coordination, no fucking body awareness.
No,
where their limbs are in space.
Yeah, it was.
You just feel like you feel like this fucking god of war just
because you know how to walk. Yeah,
fucking doing that Shark Tank shit, just putting cunts to sleep left, right, and center.
Oh man, that's right. I do remember that was a little resilience thing we ran for you guys. It was like
it was like a 4-week fucking
package.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe that was written on like a coffee coaster. Like we're like, what are we going to put the officer cadets through today? Like me, McVie, and Brendan Coy were just like, this, and it like everyone rated it. Like all the officer cadets couldn't get enough of it.
Oh, they felt it.
Yeah, it was pretty like sports specific to anything I'd ever done for training. Maybe not training a fighter, but like prepping a fighter would just be like, you know, like Shark Tanks and make sure they don't quit and things like that. Like that was pretty much what we done. It was like just.
I remember the electric knife fucking 2v1 thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that
was funny. I was like, I had 2 dudes fucking attacking me. I was like fucking just handling them both.
Stabbing them with their own knife. Yeah, this guy.
Fucking yeah. I was training. I was doing a few of the rolling sessions in the mornings and stuff with you guys. I remember I was fucking rolling with that Dave dude, and you called him sir, and I was like, oh, is he a lieutenant or something? You're like, no, he's a fucking lieutenant colonel.
Oh yeah, Dave Ward. Yeah, man. He's even like a fucking what is he now? Lieutenant General? What?
Yeah, he said he was getting made up, man.
Yeah, he's up there, man, and super good dude. Like just mate, yeah, wicked. And like that was, I think I got a lot of the top cover because that was how I got released for the Combatives, which was just madness because I was this crafty pogue, like getting. They're like, well, I spoke to Schema and they're like, where do you want to go? And I'm like, they're like, because you go into Darwin, pretty much what they said on promotion. I'm like, I'm not. I've got one for you. I've got one better. This ex-2 Commando operator wants me to go and work in the combat cell. And then he's like, righto. And I'm like, and this lieutenant colonel wants me there as well. If I call these people, they're going to know who you are. It's like, yeah. And it was like a really weird interview. The schema rep's like, okay, bye. Like, I'm like, well, this isn't going to get up. And he called my like Jono and Dave Ward went and had a conversation with him, and they must have spun some shit because the next minute I'm getting posted to the brigade headquarters, and yeah, as a combative instructor full time as a crafty.
Yeah.
And so I did 3 years in the cell, and the Combative Centre, I guess for those that don't know, were like the cell in which we're training the Army at the time, or providing the capability of combatives, which combatives was like 0.7 meter kinetic fighting. Any time basically the gun didn't go or the gun went click, it was like, what do soldiers do? Because people were just like freezing and not really closing to the threat or the target and controlling or dominating or whatever, using their capacity to do violence on the threat. So that was what combative sort of came apart, was we need a process in it, because they had MSD, like military self-defense, and I guess that was like the rollover replacement for MSD. And we were the cell, and basically Jono was tasked, that Aaron Johnson character we're talking about before, the OG, he basically created it. So he went and found some guys and tasked, like, I got the gig and I was supposed to just be the striking coach, but then he was like constantly mentoring me. You need to do jiu-jitsu, you need to do this, you need to go work with 8-9. So I got detached to 8-9 at 6 area, and I'd done some CQF with them and CQB, like, so I had to learn those tactics as a pogue. Imagine strapping a pogue on the back of your stack, and I'm like trying to learn it, and it was awesome, mate. It was exactly like fulfilling I want to be a grunt, I want to do this shit.
Yeah.
And we get there and we're doing the kill house for 6 hours a day, and the boys would be like, oh, and I'm like, let's go.
Yes.
Like, yeah, like full lid. Loved it. Like a little weekend warrior. But I got to do that a lot to sort of upskill. But he picked up Mick V, which is, you've got to get him on here. Mike Vanderlist, he's a fucking OG X2 commando operator, good mate of Tom Brownie's as well.
Oh.
He's got some stories, mate. He's done literally everything. He's a hectic, like mountaineer, like climbed some crazy stuff. He was an arborist when he got out of the army, like got his own business, and then now he's a fiery, ex-pro MMA fighter, brown belt BJJ, like just an OG. He's also like a bee collector, like he had like his own bees. Like he's just, I don't even know what they're called, like a beekeeper, and he has his own little
Jason
farm.
Statham.
Yeah, man, he's got
Special Forces beekeeper.
Literally everything. Like he's, super, super good dude. And he was one of my mentors as well. And Brennan Coy, another ex-operator from East, good mates of Tom Brownie as well. He gave me the whole Tom Frown chat as well. Like, they're all good mates. And Joey's a fucking legend. His whole family's like ex-army. Like they've got big background in it. And so I was like literally brushing shoulders with these dudes every day. And I'm like this little like crafty pogue, like, fuck, this is sick. Like, but I do remember the first time that, like, day one, we like work with Jono and Mick and Brandon and whatever else, and like, this is going to be sick. We're going to have this like meeting, and we're going to just kick doors in and do crazy shit all day. I swear to God, that's what's going to happen. And Jono brings us in. He's like, look, we're under a lot of pressure right now. I've got 6 months to make this work. I've got a fucking dead shit crafty and a couple of ex like operators. Like, let's make it work. We got to do this. Job number one, we got to vacuum all the mats downstairs. And I'm like, you can't make shooters do that, bro. Like, come on. Like, we got to do something fucking crazy. Like, he's going to leave. And like, I just remember seeing Mick like, all right, cool. Goes go have a vacuum. And I would vacuum every morning, but like seeing them, like just how the way he took the job on, like, that's the job to do. We're going to do it. And it was like super thorough. It was like a weird thing to be impressed about, but like he just really vacuumed those mats. You know what I mean? I was like, he just, did.
Nothing was beneath him.
Yeah, it was like, that was exactly it. It was a job that was required on the day, and he done it to the best of his capability. I was like, I get it. Like, I get that's the standard is this is a shit job, but I'm going to do it the best I can do it. And I think that's what makes it special, was those guys do it like that. There's as you said, nothing below them. So that was my first introduction to be like, this is fucking cool. And I think that's what really like fueled the fire. Like, I want to be a part of that sort of stuff. And, unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. But
so, how did you how does it work? Fucking put your name in the hat for selection.
Mine was like, I guess with everyone, like you just put it through like expression of interest that you were keen to do it. You have your SVET. So say it'd be like 3 months prior, you put your name in the hat. And then depending on the panel, like how many people, some people would just get refused. But it wasn't the case in the sense that like they needed numbers. So they were like taking like 150 applicants. But ours was during COVID time. So after working with those guys every day, I was like, you know, like if I was to go speak to like one of my poke buddies, like, oh, I'm thinking about doing selection, they'd be like, what the fuck? Why? Like, but it's like if you're speaking to one of your civvy mates and they went up to you today and they were like, oh, I'm thinking about having a fight. You'd be like, of course, fucking oath you would. But like you speak to an operator, you're like, I'm thinking about doing selection. They're like, of course. Why wouldn't you? Like they get it, you know, because it's not something unthought of, unheard of. And it's got capacity for so much growth.
Well, even just fucking regular civvies, like, I'm going to do a marathon. Fucking, why would you want to put yourself through that?
Yeah. But once you've done one, right, you're like, yeah, cool. Good luck, man. It'll be sick. I'm sure you'll do great. Like, there's a completely different mentality to people that have done it than those that haven't. I've just thought about it or just spoke about it, talked about it. Because there's those career-long soldiers that are like, I'm going to train for selection. They never go. They never have a crack. They never found their answer.
Yeah, you hear all the time, man.
Yeah, and like before then, I'd done my poke 5K stomps, and that's about it. Couldn't swim that well. Was a decent runner, but I was light. Like, I was fit, and I could fight, and I could, you know, talk my ass off. But like I hadn't really been tested in the sense like I'd fought in the ring, and I didn't feel tested. And that was like sort of listening to Brownie's one the other day. I was like, you're never going to feel tested. Like that dude doesn't feel tested. Mick V doesn't feel tested. You're never going to feel tested. I think that's just what we have, that commonality in life. Like we're hunting that dragon. That's not actually real. Like, we're going to get it. I'm going to be tested one day. I'm going to sit back on the porch and be like, yeah, I fucking did it. Yeah, I did it. It's never going to happen. But you put your name in, express of interest, comes back, SVET date. They give you, COVID was different. So you had like all your meetings prior. So you done like your psych to see if you're suitable. You done aptitude to see if you're suitable as well. And if you pass all those rungs, then they gave you a SVET date. You had a meeting, like a panel, but ours was like a Skype meeting where normally they would sit you and grill you with a bunch of dudes, but I didn't get that. It was just like a fucking friendly little chat. Dude's like, why do you think you're going to make it? I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know, you just make up some shit. At the end of the day, like, you want a boost. I'm a boost. You just want to fucking do more, mate. Like you thought, you joined the army to do this serve, and you didn't get that opportunity, so you're hunting it. If if you have to be special to get there, then that's what I'm going to fucking do. So you bang in SVET. But as I said, I had to get like Grace, my partner. She's an epic swimmer. Couldn't swim, I was like, you have to swim like sub 16 minutes in the cams. And I was swimming like 21s. But the first time I tried it, I thought you're supposed to be wearing boots, but it's like joggers. Like I didn't even read the fucking requirements properly. So I'm doing it in boots and nearly drowned. Stupid. Anyway, so I learned like obviously how to do it. What
do you do? 100 meters?
Nah, it's 400 sub 16 minutes in full cams and joggers.
4, 12, 16. Yeah.
So it's not a hard ask, but it's after like I guess all the other things. It's really not. But at the time when you first start going for it, you're like, oh, that's like I was getting like 21 minutes. Like I was failing by 5 minutes, not like failing by a minute. I was failing by 5 minutes. Like, I was having like I used to have these like panic attacks on it. Well, I was drowned. Same stepdad drowned me when I was younger, and I just have these like anxious reactions to the water once I started to become fatigued. Really alarming. So like I had to just feel comfort with that. So a lot of my training was resolved like around the pool until I could swim in 10 by the time I was like my prep, but I was training for 18 months. I remember like stomps. I started like stomping because you got to do your 20K sub 3 hour 15. And I remember like I was doing like 5Ks. Like I just posted into the headquarters, started doing my stomps, and I was like doing 5Ks, and I was like not really elevating the amounts or distances correct. And so like one of the boy, I think it was Brendan, was like, I think 5% a week, mate. Like 5% weight 1 week increase, the next week 5% distance, keep the same weight. Then next week 5% weight increase. So like you'd start off with 20 kilos. You do 22 kilos the next week at 5Ks, and the next week you do 22 kilos at 5.5Ks. Like, and you build that way. And I was doing 5Ks at like 20 kilos. My back was killing me. I was like, what is going on? And it was like 3 months of just unbearing pain. Like I could not deal with it. I just couldn't wait to get the pack off. And I was like, I went to him like, man, I'm just not suited. This is fucked. I'm in so much pain all the time. And he's like, what's your kit like? Have a look. And he like pulls my pack over. Like, the fucking frame is broken, mate. And I like, you look at like pulled on this is like an issued pack frame, and I like you like pulled on it, and the pain in my back was like the broken plastic like stabbing me. I was like, oh, it's so unbearable. Got a new frame, and I was like, fuck, pack margins easy. Like, how good is this? Like, oh fuck. But I ended up getting that sub 230s. Like I had 45 minutes spare. Like I was competitive as, you know, I run my 3.2 in sub 14s, and you know, you're supposed to run it in 16s. You got all the time in the world.
What's the official weight on the 20?
28 kilos, including webbing, and then you have your rifle on top. It's really not that much. But it's just the compiling of everything, and it's a bare minimum requirements. Like, look back at it when you first put it together, you're like, fuck, it's so much. But it's like what do you call that? Like a risk adverse capability. Like, will you have a heart attack on this course? If you can do XXX, probably not. And that's what it is, like a tick box. Like, it's such a bare minimum standard that you should be able to do it. Yeah. And only when you start training for it, you realize how capable, like how easy, or not easy is the wrong word, but if you just set a plan and set a date and then execute that plan, you'll get there. Like, super obtainable. But at the time, you think, fuck, I'm going to do it. But you take like a fight camp, I suppose, just bang it out week by week, and next minute you're there. Like, it was good. Yeah.
And then you had Alex helping you with
my med training. Yeah.
Stuff.
So that was another one, was like just getting the right resources, because I didn't have being a pogue, I didn't have the background of navigation. I didn't have the background. Like, if you do a couple of legs at Kabuga on my sub 1, you do a couple of legs. That's really it. You know, a couple of K fucking navigation. Can you hit a bearing? Cool. Qualified, you know, like where you spend 5 days by yourself in the bush trying to fucking navigate, like, you're going to get lost.
That's a wonder.
Mick took me aside and taught me how to do a bit. And then he was like, you know, put me onto Rogaines. If you've heard of Rogating, it's just fucking really good sort of experience. Where I learned almost sort of how to navigate correctly. Was it's like what do you call that? You know, people like run around with a compass. What do they call that? I can't think of. Orienteering. Yeah, it's like that, but you're not so. It's like hiking. Like, it's quite undulating terrain, and you've got like points to hit, like navigation points, and they're worth different amounts of points. Like, the harder to reach and the more refined and, you know, like tactically hard they are to manage will be worth more points. And they're like, some of them are on huge spot heights, like 200, 300 meter spot heights, and they're worth like 100 points. And then you can go like this little one that's on the flat grounds with like 5. So you assess, you know, you got 8 hours to do it all, gather all your points, and then come back, and every like 5 minutes you're late, you lose like 20 points. You have to be quite good at your time management as well. And so I learned a lot of those skills. We went up to like granite belt and do some of the navigation points there, and take Grace, and she'd have a crack as well. And so it was a bit of like a family day as well, as I was like picking up these skills and getting lost. And she was better at navigation than I was. I'm so terrible at, like, my co-locate, whatever you call that, your natural compass is so off. Like, I'll walk out of the car park and I'll forget where I'm parked. Like, I'm so useless. With a compass, I was better. I'm still today, mate. I'll get lost in North Lakes, and I've been living there for 5 years, you know, like it's never been a natural capability of mine. But yeah, so I picked up that, and then my med skills were definitely lacking as well. So like Alex, like absolute OG Bartolo, he was a Bravo for 2 Commando as well, wasn't he? Like a team medic.
Yeah.
And he took me aside and got a couple of the boys on the course through, and they're operating now as well. Obviously I'm not. I'm killing it. But yeah, he showed me heaps of stuff I still use today when I'm running, like my training for the TCCC, you know, I teach the guys that. So yeah, he knows his shit. Fucking animal.
Yeah, he's a weapon.
And a good dude. Hard to come by.
Best.
Yeah.
So yeah, you went down, fucking COVID, hotel quarantine.
Oh yeah.
How'd you go with what was the sort of plan with the misso, with like, you know, I'm going down, maybe I'll be back, maybe I won't?
Yeah, pretty I never thought I was coming back. So it was like she was going to come down with me. I didn't plan, like, you know, you train for a flight, trying to like fight to lose, right? So
Yeah.
I we were like prepping everything. Like we'd bought a place, so we were looking at just going to rent that out, and she was going to move down once I was all settled in Rio and that. But you go to COVID, it was real awkward on one of my clean skins because I was doing a lot of running, man. I was running like 80, 90 Ks a week in selection prep, and it was too much because I was already a strong runner, but I was just like, the closer you get a little bit more anxious. Like, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? So I started pushing Ks out more, doing more training sessions, and should have just trusted myself. But one of my clean skins, I'll just do like a half marathon a couple times a week, and I felt like a click in my ankle. I was like, well, that's bad. I couldn't walk on it for about 4 minutes. And I was like, oh, gave it a quick rub and finished the run off. And like, that's awkward. Next day I couldn't walk on it. And this was about 4 weeks prior to course. Like, I've already done SFET, performed really well. Body's great. 4 weeks out from course. And I'm like, I got it looked at. MRI, nothing came back. I'm like, I'm being a bitch. So run again, happens again. Like this weird click. It's like super, super painful. Like feels like a sharp snap, but like nothing snapped. No swelling, no bruising, nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't figure it out. It was like in my ankle or my foot. It was just I couldn't got another MRI, nothing. I was like, I am being a bit. Can I get cortisone? So they bang in this cortisone. Cool. Same thing happens on 3.2 on course. Oh, like, yeah, so sorry, back to COVID. So we did 2 weeks in fucking isolation prior to the course, and like everyone like hires like assault bikes and push bikes.
What were you doing in the hotel room?
You're just training, like you
punching push-ups and
literally. You'd have like I did a 10K stomp in my little hotel room. Like chucked the pack on and just back forth in the room. It was mentally draining. But yeah, it just like was cycling because I couldn't run because my ankle was still cooked even with the cortisone. I was like, it'll come good. Right then I should have pulled myself well and truly off course. Like I was like, you're not going to hide a lower limb injury on that course. Like it's, everything's going to come out in the wash. Like you could be fully functioning. Something's going to come out in the wash, whether it's your mental capacity, physical capability, something's coming out. Like, can you endure past that? Sure. But like a lower limb injury, that's how you travel everywhere on the course unless you're willing to hobble on. But yeah, I was too proud to pull the pin. I didn't want anyone to think, like I was quitting or I was giving up or I wasn't. So I, jumped on the course, bit of cortisone, that'll sort it. And yeah, felt the same thing. Like day one on the 3.2, like a little click. It wasn't painful, but it just felt a click. I was like, that's weird. And then the swelling started and the bruising and then all that shit. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, something's going on here. And then he did that. We went to like our kit check, which was nothing. It was super chill. Sort of like what Brandy was saying as well. You bit of chaos, heaps of calm. Bit of chaos, heaps of calm. So you're sitting around smacking a brew, talking shit. And then they're like, all right, kit checks. And you do your kit checks and they get you nude. And I thought it was going to be like real confronting, but you just got so much on it. You don't give a shit. Like there's no one big dogging you out. You're just doing your thing and you do your kit checks. And then they were like, as soon as we finished, they're like, everyone up. And like they made us have all this extra superfluous shit. So you had all your bag, you had your hospital bag, your pack, all your crap, and then you had like the extra CES they wanted you to bring, like glow sticks and random stuff. And so you just brought it and you're like, I've never used this in my entire career, but now I'm packing it. And then they gave you another dive bag full of all that other stuff with all this extra just superfluous shit. It was just add weight. So you had your pack, you had everything, and then you had these 2 dive bags on your head and they're like, walk, everyone move. So we're all like fucking walking, and that's when I noticed like my ankle, like it's not bending. Everything hurts on it, like not good. So we did this like maybe like 6-7K infill, but you would have had full battle, like combat loaded gear and then hospital bag. So you would have 45, 50 kilos on your back, and then you had like 30 kilos on your head, like because you had these 2 dive bags like on your head. So you had like a fair amount of weight and you're just walking this like little Changi death march to the position, which is about 7K. And I was like the last dude there. Obviously people just like pulling the pin there. Like they were sitting down on the side of the road, like, no, I've had it. Like it's a long walk. Yeah, straight away, man. Like you lost dudes on 3.2, threw out their marbles as soon as their marbles, threw out their marbles as soon as they failed the 3.2. They'll pull themselves off course. And it's like it's crazy how quick it happened. But yeah, like as soon as something goes wrong, they just did. But you'd be like walking past people just sitting down the road, and I was like dead last. My mate actually came back, was like, "You all good, dude?" Like, what the fuck? You know, my ankle's gone, and he like sort of helped me get across the line, and he's over there operating now like mad dog. And yeah, so then we get into like this little Bali type villa thing. It's like this little, I don't know what you call it, little county they've built, and they got all their rules and regs, and everyone's eating food and going off and talking shit, and had a few tasks, done some skills and drills and like some just basic testing, and then it's like 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and like go to bed, and you're gonna get up in like an hour for the 20, and yeah, that happened. Go to sleep, wake up, prep for the stomp, do the stomp, and it was like I was dead last again at like 11 km, and the leg is just not working. Like nothing I'm doing is operating. I'm like, well, I'm just not pulling myself off course. I think it's not happening. And then like there's like the truck right behind you, like the MOG that's picking up like all the and guys that have pulled themselves off or injured or whatever. And like one of the DS would like start like get out of the car and walk over to me, and as he did, I'd like hobble off. I'm like 2.5 hours in. I'm not even coming close. I'm like, you got 3 hours 15 to do this, and I'm like halfway at nearly 3 hours. Like I'm not doing it. And he's like, get in the truck. Like, you're fucked. You're not going anywhere. I'm not. Like, I'm going to fail. Like I'm going to finish this run, and in 10 days I'll reset it, and my ankle will be sweet. But I'm not going anywhere. And he's like, no, like note off. You're not going to pass. You need to get in the truck. Not in the truck. And he's like, just went on for an hour. Like this guy's just like following me around. And then he basically like grabbed me. He's like, we have note off casualties at the front. We need you to get in the truck now. If you don't, like some cunt is going to die because you don't want to fucking get in the truck. Like you're not come back next year. It's all good, but we're not losing fucking lives here. And I was like, is this part of the fucking course? Like, I don't know. I ended up having, I'm like, you know what? We're not having it. And I gave him a card, jumped in the back, and it was like tragic at the time. We get to the front, and it's my fucking one of my best mates, like fucking blacking out on the finish line. Like he had a hypo, which is like his body wouldn't, or hyper, he wouldn't.
Overheating.
Yeah, no glucose. Like he wouldn't, his body wouldn't break down the sugars or something. Like, anyway, he was like fully seething. I was like, oh fuck, like there weren't like no doubt. Like this is fucking, yeah, it was like the dude I've been training with on the course, and he was full fucked up. And that was it, mate. That was the fucking course. And I was like, fuck, that sucked. And me and old mate, he came out of hospital 3 days later, and he's like, couldn't explain it. The glucose didn't break down. And I was like, a bit devo at the time. And then we got stuck on old Holsworthy. They hadn't planned to exfil for the guys that came off course. So we were in old Holsworthy for nearly 3 weeks. And all you wanted to do was go home. You're like, fuck, mate, I'm a fucking loser. I just want to go home, lick my wounds, and then bang it out next year. And so we got like released. Then you done 2 weeks of COVID at like
on the way back.
Yeah, so you're stuck in the fucking hotel. So another 2 weeks, you just want to go home.
Fuck, I know.
And I remember like coming off the course, and my mate Jesse, I was telling you about, was mates with Tom Brown, like the one that helped me through all the maths and stuff like that. And like he's just a good cunt. He saw me on Messenger like when I should have been on course, and he's like, "Can't, don't tell me." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, man." Like the injury came out, and he's he's real gutted, and we had a chat, and then got back to hotel ISO, and I get a phone call that night, first day in ISO, Jesse's dead.
Hey?
Yeah, he fucking died. Went under a rail on his motorbike.
Oh, fuck.
Lost his leg, bled out, and died. And I just remember thinking, fuck, like, what do you do? Like, such a good dude. And like, if I didn't come off the course, I never would have had that chat, right? Like, you would have died when I was on the course. I would have come out, and yeah, it was just fucking surreal. And then to be stuck in isolation when you're like, yeah, have that constant. If it, like that put the course in perspective, like that sucked. I put like I'd trained for fights. I'd put when I was in the army, I had 1 foot in while I was fighting, right? And I had 1 foot in fighting while I was still in the army. I never committed to one just fighting, because I think I would have gotten a lot further if I just was like, if I quit the army, went fucking all in, because I nearly had a contract to Japan. Like I nearly had all these good things happen, and then army, like I nearly made it to top tier. Not nearly, like in the sense like if I fully committed to it, maybe but like that's what I did. I put 18 months into just that. So that was the first time I put everything on the line to lose. So easily lost to, like I didn't even get tested, I didn't finish the course. If I finished the course and then they're like, you know what we're looking for, I've been like, sweet. But I know, I knew the answer that time, but I just didn't get tested. And then I lost my best mate. I was like, this doesn't matter. Like the course doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what matters, that that connection. So I was like, I had this goal and it was crushed, but that wasn't what it was about. Like at that time, it was like, this is harder. Like this is much bigger. So it did put in perspective that though I had a goal, that was my life. When something actually rocks your world, you realize. But it was a compiled loss. Like I lost 2 things that day, all that time. So that was tough. And then I had that same, Wezzo, I had a bunch of mates that would like just contact me every day to sort of like check in. But Wezzo would be just relentless. He'd call me 4 times a day just to fucking do my head in. And sometimes I'd be like, just not in the mood. And I just wouldn't answer the phone. And he'd like message me like, sorry, mate, you must be out for a walk. You must have been real busy and you're like stuck in hotel isolation. Fuck off, mate. I must have caught you at a bad time.
I was jacking off.
Fucking, oh, mate. So like, yeah, that was probably the tough spot. That and then that was when the cell sort of closed down when I come back. So like Jono got out of the army. I lost my position at the Combative Centre and then went back to trade and they promoted me as in like this is a good thing. And it was just like, this isn't what I signed. Like I'd go back to do what the Grunts do, sit in the breezeway before I do this. Like I just wasn't motivated to do that.
Yeah.
And it was only when I had Charlie, like my daughter, like I was literally outfield while Grace was due. And I was telling him, my missus is going to give birth. Like I need to go home. They're like, oh, we're at this training exercise. We can't send you home. Luckily I didn't miss the exercise. Missed the birth, sorry. The exercise. Yeah, so I was like...
They kept you for the full X?
Full X, but I got back. Luckily she was late. I was there for the birth. 2 weeks later they wanted to send me field for 3 months. And I was like, neg, like I got a child and partner. I can't do this. And they're like, no, we need a full track there. I'm like, we have a sergeant that's a fitter qualified. Like he can do it. I'll do the back 6 weeks, but I'm not doing this. Like I need to stay home for family. Like this is important to me, And they weren't really buying it. And I was like, oh, here's my application. I'm getting out. Here's some long less service leave. Like I'm not doing this game.
Yeah, right.
It was not the end you want to end on, but I was just like, this is important to me at the time. Already had the application in for cops at that time, and I was like, I need to move on. And this user obviously falls on my hand in that sense. Like I would have liked to stay and go through the correct process to leave, but
what is the correct process?
Well, in a sense, like a handshake and a positive vibes. Like didn't get that. It was just I'm doing this for me then, and jumped out, worked for the same Wezzo character for 6 months in construction while I was just working on the roads, mate. It gave me a healthy appreciation for construction because fuck that. The hard workers, mate. It's shit.
So what was the thought process as far as you said you were, going to rehab up and go back to selection fucking 12 months later?
Yeah. I started.
Not worth sucking eggs for the 12 months or more about the family thing?
It was family. So I started training again. And so I got, even after the hotel isolation, I still couldn't walk. And there's something going on. And I ended up having multiple fractures in my ankle that weren't recognized on the MRI, but when I got back after I still couldn't walk, so it was multiple fractures that had joined together, like not a compound fracture, but like micro fractures that turned. You'd probably understand this better than fucking I would, but turned into like a break of like the tarsals and into my ankle, like the tarsals, the toe bones. So surrounding my foot into like the crux of my ankle, like the crook of my ankle, and then 2 tendons had like fused themselves together or something. I can't think of what it's called. A coalition? Is that it right? Coalition? I don't know. I'm just making words. And like even now I still need surgery, but it just, because it's fused, it's basically stopped the pain. It's just, it's not good. Like there's like tendons fused to bone where it shouldn't have or something like that.
So it had like hairline fractures through.
Yeah.
There's like fully
6 fractures in it. But nothing, like they had to use the dye to find all these like little fucking fractures and stuff, which is fucking frustrating because if I knew that before, I wouldn't have gone on the course. Like as simple as that. I was like, like lick my wounds, I'll come back next year. But yeah, I did start training again, then ruptured discs in my neck. And I was like, for fuck's sake. And Grace was like, she wanted to join the cops. She wanted to do all this stuff. And I was like putting off her career each time, like 18-month training. Then she'd join the cops. I'll just join Sydney cops when I go to Sydney. Oh, yeah. That was her mindset. And then it was like, oh, you got another 12 months in you. Wait for me to train again, for nothing promised. It was just easy to me to go, you know what, they're not supportive of family at this time. So what's a career that is? You know, and I always, as I said, you know, that little drawing, I wanted to do police, I wanted to do, so now, you know, now I've done both. And the academy was, you know, like pretty supportive of family. Like the hours are pretty consistent, being 7 to 4, which worked for you know, having a toddler or a little baby in the house. So that worked pretty well. And yeah, and I'm just tax-free dollar. Yeah, good.
As a chocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking. What's the transition like from green to blue?
It's good, man. It's like that 6 months where I got out and I was doing construction. I was like, I lost identity. I think like in that sense that I was just like going to work. You're doing 12-hour shifts, and I'd try and find time to train afterwards. And I would like be training, and like I don't need to be fit or strong or capable. Because I could just need to be able to swing a spanner or swing a shovel. You know, so it was weird where like the army's like, you need to be fit for your team. You need to be capable to do X, Y, Z. I need to be able to swim 400 meters for the kit. I need to be able to stomp 20 clicks, you know, full gear. I need to be able to run. I need to be able to shoot. I need all these skills.
Part of your job is fucking maintain.
You know, I lost all that. It was like, I didn't lose it. I gave it up. I got to reframe that because I made that choice. But yeah, it was like that purpose was gone. So that 6 months was actually quite tough. But as soon as like I got my position start, it was like it'd been refulfilled. And I understand like I've done some like internal look like to find that I do put a lot of, and I think we all do put a lot of emphasis on our role as a part of our character, part of who we are. So like I train to supplement my capability in the job. It's like, well, what happens when you don't have that job anymore? Like, are you still going to train? Or
you attach yourself to that
fat dude? Yeah. So, I think that next sort of find or like self-searching is train for like my role as me, like, you know, like as a dad, as a partner, as a person, and I have for this job that requires a capability. Ideally, like,
but even if you don't have this job, just for yourself and your family.
Yeah, and I think that's where I've got to find that healthy balance because I'm still like always on a strength and conditioning program, or like I'm trying to grow and build and then I'll into myself. I literally just got caught this morning because overtraining, classic.
You got DVA fucking.
They're looking after me,
stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah, man, they are doing really well. I don't think I'd actually be able to do my role now without the support of DVA because I'm constantly getting physio or shit for like just to keep myself semi like the most average dad bod ever, like to keep that standard, that 4 out of 10.
Just fight the back.
Just keeping that average rig going. So like without that, it's kind of you wouldn't be able to afford to, mate. Like physios are so expensive.
I know everything I do, fucking day to day, physio, EP, cycle. I'm like, how do fucking normal people? Like,
I don't know. I wouldn't know more. Yeah.
How'd you go? Fucking 11 years. What was a transition like? Even though you did it for the right reasons, for your family, for fucking to be a dad and not have to do with the bullshit. How'd you go walking away?
I think that 6 months was pretty tough, but as soon as I started in a new role, I think it reinvigorated me to be a part of a different organization. If it was probably a similar circus, different clowns. It seems quite like it felt seamless. I'd rate it for any of the guys like considering because I know a lot of AJs are like, I wouldn't mind jumping in and having a crack at, you know, cops or whatever. The best thing I can put to it is like Army's like train, and you really do. Like I never got a trip. I was like hunting trips. Like I want to be that guy. I want to serve. That's what I signed up for. I never got it. And where in the blue you're like it's do. Rarely any training, right? Like you're just on the job every day, so everything's real. So if you want that, you're gonna get it. Like you're gonna get that deployment experience, I suppose, in the sense that like you're on the ground every day doing something real.
Did you have any troubles with the DVA injuries and stuff with joining the coppers?
Yeah, the ankle injury, they misdiagnosed at the start as shin splints because they saw like the micro fractures and they're like, oh, it's just shin splints. And that's what they cared about. And I was like, no, it was like a total break of my ankle and feet and a joint, like this fusion of tendon to bone. Far worse than shin splints. They're like, no, you've got shin splints. It says here. And I was like, I've never had shin splints. I've never once had shin splints. Like, and so I had to go get a like stat deck and then proof of like all the breaks and stuff to be like, this is what it was. It wasn't shin splints. I was thinking, this sounds way worse than shin splints.
It was on your DVA file, the shin splints. You had to give them your DVA file.
Yep. You had to sign away of it. And that was, I think you were talking about to Brownie about it in your last podcast. That just like obviously that disclosure form. And if you don't disclose it, they won't. Honestly, you have to.
Yeah. Is that like a standard Army thing? If you've been in, you've got to fucking give up your DVA file?
I think if you're going government to government, maybe. Like, it depends on what the requirement is for the...
Oh, yeah, because they'd probably be interested in your mental health status still.
Yeah. Pretty much any... Like, if you're applying for police, you can't see a psych within the 5 years, which is probably...
5 years?
Yeah, man. Like, it's...
Like, not even a fucking...
Not even like a...
Check-in sort of...
Check-in, yeah. Which is counterintuitive to... Like, I had a really toxic mindset towards, like, mental health in the sense that I was, like, seeing psychs, I didn't get it. Like, I was like, yeah... but it's like one of the people that are so like switched on with their mental health, like know when they need to speak to someone about it. They go and speak to someone about it. It's like a service for your body, but like your mind.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like going to the gym for your brain.
Yeah, exactly.
And it helps your brain sort of depress from just the shit. And then it's like, well, that's off. Now I feel lighter. So these guys are like doing it to preserve their brain, but the mindset people have is like, ugh, like, you know, so this not seeing a psych, I could understand if they were like on meds for X, Y, and Z, like, that's why like Army will take your gun away from you if you're on meds and shit like that, which is, I think, completely fair. Like, you gotta take those fucking precautions. But I think a lot of the guys, like, we're entitled to see, like, the Blue will pay for, I think, like 5 psych appointments a year or something, so the guys can actually get some treatment and just speak to someone. So like they understand that once you're in the job, you can speak to someone, but until then, hold it in. Just put it deep down. I don't know. Yeah, so like you said, that's way above my pay grade, but I think the transition, honestly, like, was really, really like seamless. And then I got to academy, and there was like 6 or 7 dudes that were in my section were ex-Army, and like just had the same fucking dark humor and same chats, and like it made it super easy to be like, I'd never left, and now time I get
one of my mates actually said that he got into coppers, and he was like, there's always a few dudes, you know, full tracks and stuff, and you just fucking bro down, and so you never left.
It was exactly like that. We actually had one of my mates from the academy, like, finished his time in the academy, ex-recon sniper. And then, like, good dude, he was like, I didn't have a cracker's license. I need to fucking go do it. And I'm like, you just finished the academy, dude. Like, you got out and you've done this. Like, what do you mean? He's like, I need to do it. And I'm like, look, I get it. Like, you need to be tested. You didn't put yourself on your hat in the ring. And
he's gone on, like Tom, like direct entry to that.
Well, no. So, like, he'd done his time in the Army, joined, like, cops, and then done 3 months. Was like, no, I need to go back. So he went as a reservist, trained for 12 months, and then banged in selection course and got to like day 17 and end up coming off the course. But it was like, you get it. Like, I 100% get it, because although I didn't meet the standard, you know, got injured, failed, whatever you want to call it, like, I answered the question in the sense that, like, could I at least prep for it? Like, I set a goal, which was to have a crack. I wasn't a career person that talked about having a crack. I just didn't work out. And that's okay. But I know the answer to my question, which was like, you know, would you have a crack? You know, like, at the end of the day, like, you talked about, like, your colour blindness, like, it's what you always wanted to do. And unfortunately, you fucking got dealt the cards you got dealt. You know, and like my cards, I suppose, got dealt. Like, I injured myself overtraining. Didn't know any better at the time, but like, I answered the question. I had a crack.
Any aspirations for cert?
Definitely. where does that lie? Like, where's my body capability at the moment? Like, literally tore my elbow in 3 places doing pull-ups now. So
Gotcha.
it's a new injury. Yeah, I've got to get my body right 100%. But like I was talking literally Grace about it yesterday. I'm like, I'm 32 now, and she's like, heaps of people 35 when they get in. I'm like, you're right. Like, I'm rushing things. Like, I'm still, I still got.
I'm 32. I'm on my last week.
One leg in the hole. Yeah, so like, there's like, I've obviously got a few things going on. Like my neck's cooked. I get like corrective surgery for 6 months, just burning the nerves out, because it's like they're called cervical spondylosis. So like the joints like fusing together.
Burning your nerves out, you get ablations.
Yeah,
every 6 months.
Yeah, so that happens just to sort of cull the pain, because otherwise I like do this weird thing where I have to like stretch across the table. So people be talking to me, and I'm just like, excuse me for a second, they just like start stretching my shoulder on it. It's really weird. It's like the only thing that releases the pain. Yeah, so that just happens at the moment, because they want to fuse my neck, but I'm 32. So if you fuse my neck now, I'm going to be like frozen up right at like 50. So not ideal. Especially an assert operator, like looking like the old Batman where they can't like. Not ideal. So there's definitely aspirations, but the best part about the blue is there's so many roles like Dig Pro, like dignitary protection, and PSRT, like public safety, and CERT, and tactical crime squad. Like there's so much out there. It's like, choose your adventure.
Yeah.
And you can do what they do, secondments, so that you can do attachments to different processes or different places and have a play. And
see if you like it.
Pretty well, yeah. So there's so much out there that you just, I don't want to choose now. I'm so early that I want to commit to one thing. I definitely still feel like I've been tested, all the fighting didn't do it for me, and banging out 2 days of selection didn't do it for me. So, yeah.
Still got that fucking itch.
Yeah.
You need to scratch.
Yeah, and from brushing shoulders with some pretty accomplished people, I dare say that itch probably never gets scratched. And it's that, what do you call that, elusive dragon that we're never really going to catch. But at the end of the day, when you're sitting in your rocking chair, you can at least go, like, I had a crack.
Yeah, yeah. Like even, dudes like Brownie that fucking feel like they're never, I was never ducking and dodging, so I never did it. But, when in hindsight, you can look back and go, I did go overseas. I did fucking, I was there on the fucking front lines. I just, just because no one ever fired a bullet at my head.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. Like, he's been tested. Like, and he'll never see that. But like, for me, mate, that's the war I always wanted. Like just to get over there and be a part of it. So
yeah, exactly. I guess that's just life, eh? Like, I want to buy a house. Fucking this one's only got 2 bedrooms. Fucking
yeah. It's comparison. What do they call that? Like the joy thief, or the thief of all joy is comparison, right? So like, my parents never owned a home, and like I own a home. It's like, if you take it the other way, be like, I never believed I was ever going to own a home, and now I'm like,
100%.
No, like, fuck, that's sick. Like, you've just got to take the small wins where you can, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's it's a nice place. Like, shut up. We're never happy. That's
That's it. Yeah, 100%. I was the same. I was like, I'm fucking. There's no chance I'll ever own a home. Fucking, being single in this economy. Fucking, coming from where I've come from. Then I'll finally buy one, and it's a fucking nice place. And I'm like, oh man, I'm never going to be able to afford a fucking house with a yard.
Or my own yacht. It's comparison. People of all joy. I think anyway, but I still do it all the time.
Yeah, it's fucking in our nature, I guess.
Yeah, want more. I think there's nothing like that's probably the best part about being human is like you can either settle or keep hunting, right? At the end of the day,
I guess people like us as well, chasing bigger and better. Some people are happy to fucking live in a share accommodation for their whole life.
Yeah,
fucking. And you got people that just want more and more and more and work harder and tick one goal off and fucking immediately
on the next.
Start thinking about the next one.
Yeah.
It's
a bit like that.
Until I fucking get in the ring, I'll fucking never be able to get in the ring. Or until I win a world title and fucking,
That was it. I think that was probably what do you call that? Like a big moment in my life. Like when I took remember fighting like Reese Lightning. I don't know if you knew
Oh,
Reese
did you?
Lightning.
Yeah.
So at the time, that was my first like pro fight. That was K1, like pro rules. But he just fought Preacher, and I remember watching him and Preacher fight in hybrid gloves, and I was like, they got a draw, and I loved Preacher. Preacher was like, there was like John Wayne Parr and Preacher around, and I was a Preacher guy. I was like, fucking love Preacher.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And then Reese fought Preacher, and they drew, and then my coach at the time was like, "You're gonna fight Reese, you're gonna smash him," and I was like, "No, you just fucking drew with Preacher, you stupid." Like, he's like, "I'm gonna try and get Preacher, but if I can't get Preacher for you, you're fighting Reese." I was like, "You're fucking stupid. Like, I'm gonna lose." And Preacher wanted too much money, so he took Reese. I think Reese got paid $5,000 or something to fight me, which was stupid money. Like, I got paid decent for K1, and K1 always paid better than Muay Thai. So I copped a lot of slander for being a K1 fighter, but like I fought full Thai. I got elbowed once in my Thai career. I fought like 18 full Thai fights or some shit. I got elbowed once by Corey Crittenden. Like, the only dude that fucking elbowed me, and he's like that super awkward, like lanky dude. It was my last full Thai fight. Never got cut. Like, but I just didn't fight that fight. Like, I was like long range. Like, why would I stand there and elbow someone? And like K1 paid better, so why would I get elbowed for less money? It didn't make sense. But we trained for the Reese Lightning fight, and Jeff, my coach at the time, he was like, "What's going to happen is you're going to box him. You're going to give him a boxing lesson for 4 rounds, and he's not going to have an answer for you. He's going to be so frustrated, he's going to stand there in the middle." And that was how the fight went. Just 4 rounds of me just playing with him. Basically, it was like the easiest fight I ever had in my life. Like, I stopped him via just cut. Like, it was just by just hitting him consistently, and like he was like gobbing off, calling me a soldier boy and all this shit. And the fight was in Kingaroy. Like, he's a good dude. He was just trying to wire me up and get me all worked up and that. And I trained really hard for the fight, but it was so like it was just executed where my coach was 100% right. It was like every time we threw a punch, I would just make him miss, throw a few on the end, kick him on the end, and just worked him for 4 rounds, split him open. I got stopped, and we were gobbing off in the corner, like to each other. He's like, "You're not hitting me, because I was just like peppering him, and then I hit him once through the gloves, and I was like, "That's flesh, cunt," because he was like bleeding from his fucking head, and ref stopped the fight, and that was like the easiest fight of my entire, like, and it sounds rude to Reese, it wasn't that, it's just the style clash was so spectacular that like he was a better fighter than me, but my style just upset him so much that he just couldn't land anything, couldn't do anything, and he just stood there in the ring like a boxing bag. It was so simple that I was just like, I can find the footage. It's just like you said, it was a show in Kingaroy, and my coach was so cheap. He hosted the show. They didn't even buy a cameraman or like a photographer. So it's like, I've got the footage of my mate's mobile phone, like recording from like the 5th row back. So it's like the shittest footage of my best fight. But it was what it was, and everyone didn't expect me to win. And that was easy when people didn't expect me to win. But I remember that feeling like I was never going to win that fight, and I just smoked him. And I was like sitting in the pub afterwards, like all the beers were paid for, and I just sat there and I just didn't want to drink. I didn't want to do anything. I just was like, what the fuck? I didn't expect that to happen. That was so just like, like no one prepares you to sort of achieve your goals. Like everyone's, like you expect to have this like hardship and stuff. But when you achieve it, you're like, what now? Like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, I didn't expect that to happen. I was supposed to lose. Like,
it's a pretty common phenomenon where you work so fucking hard for something that you feel the disappointment when you get it because you're like, now you've got nothing.
What next?
Yeah, what now?
And that was it. It was like
the thrill of the chase.
Yeah. I had a few more fights after that. That was like just as I was peaking, and it stopped because I was like the K1 dude, and I started fighting Thai because they were like, you don't fight Muay Thai. So I started fighting more Muay Thai, winning Muay Thai belts against Muay Thai fighters. And they were like, I'm an elbow fighter, I'm a clincher, I'm this. And they're like, well, I didn't get elbowed, I didn't get clinched because I just fought K1 in your rule set, like, and would win. And people were like expecting me to win. And that was weird as well as a transition again. It was like, I went from being an underdog, people were expecting me to win. I didn't expect that because now it's like, it was weird when people expected me to win. I was like, I prefer being the underdog. Like, this is fucking weird. Like, it was not what I guess expected. Yeah. But,
would you let your kids fight?
It's all like I think on them. I think they'll train. They won't get a choice to have to train. I think everyone should learn how to throw a good right hand and be able to wear one. Especially like I thought like I'd have a boy and you know, like you have to be tough, but I got a girl. And then I'm now like, oh, you know, I got to protect my girl, but I'm like, she needs to be tougher. Like it's harder on the girls than it is the fucking boys. Like she needs to be capable. She needs to be ready. So, you know, she'll be tough regardless. She's already tough. Like she's 2 and she's throwing me around the place. So,
There's not a woman I know in this world that hasn't had fucking stories about, you know, dominance and abuse and and you know, you're not always going to be there to protect them.
No. For the most part, I'm going to endeavour to be, but hopefully I give her the skills, knowledge, and attributes that she won't need me. She'll want me, but won't need me. You know,
when they're at parties and stuff, and fucking starting to fool around and stuff with boys, you know, you want them to be fucking cunty enough to take care of business. You know,
don't you know it better? You got a 10-year-old now, like
fucking
it's getting at that time. Like she'll definitely train. I don't know, like if she wants to compete, she'll compete. But it won't be enforced by me. Fighting gave me confidence that I never had previously. Like I remember I couldn't public speak, and then like I hadn't practiced any public speaking, and I had 20 odd fights, and then I had to start public speaking for work, and I was like, oh, this is fucking easy. But I'd never learnt it. I just was like, fight in front of thousands. Like, what's speaking in front of someone going to do? Like, I'm not getting punched in the face. This is great. Like, there's no stress here. Like, so. I don't know. It was,
definitely a confidence builder. So
huge.
Yeah. That's what I've got to do on it. She wanted to fight in August.
She is training. I saw her. She was doing Thai boxing actually.
Muay Thai, she's been training for 2 years.
Yeah.
She's going well. Like I actually helped Badge with her the other day because the coaches are busy.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell. Like she cracks. Yeah,
man.
But she wanted to fight in August. So normally like you have to spar like a couple of times a week.
Yeah.
And then she got in there for sparring and just fucking caved, like was
under the pressure.
Yeah. Okay. The first time she sparred, she did 6 rounds and then just broke down in tears. And then she's just sort of like just been weaning in like a little, you know, 1 round here and there.
Yep.
But it just scares the fuck out of her. So she pulled out of the fight in August, and I'm not pushed now. You know, when you're ready, just let me know.
I did lots of work with some like young fighters. Like obviously I ran a gym, right? And I don't like how, and like it's super conflictive, or like people say otherwise, but like I don't like how people just throw me into Thai boxing straight away because it's brutal, and she's 10 and there's no protection. Like,
no, they do. So Q1 does shin guards, chest guards, and headgear, and they're not allowed to hit in the head.
Yeah, good. Okay, see that's far safer than what it used to be, because it used to be fucking
full tie.
Yeah, man, and like they were
like John Wayne Parr's fucking. How was it? Jazzy.
Yeah.
I remember when she was 5 or 6 on the news, and she was like fucking.
I think she was wearing shin guards.
Yeah, shin guards, but no chest, and but they were hitting in the head too.
Yeah.
So it feels fucking like I'm like, you know, you got nothing to worry about. You got body protection. The only thing that's going to hurt is a leg kick. So just focus on checks and fucking push kicks, and you'll be fucking safe.
It's also the crowd, man. They're 10. Like,
I know. I'm like, super overwhelming now.
A couple of my like girls that I train, like Maddie Brown, she's 18 now. Erin's 22. Erin Carter. I think I got Erin, which was 14. Maddie, when she was 9. We put them through like the ISCA, like light contact stuff first, and they were like, they would have 20 mat contests before they had the first ring fight. And it's like you could see, because Maddie would, like her first couple of fights, she cried afterward. She cried because she beat them up. She felt bad. Like that's what girls do, man. They're like emotional, and that's fine. Like I'd have boys that would cry as well. Like, fuck, I wanted to cry sometimes, you know. Like it's just how the kids they're still kids. And like, I got to a point where you have like this 14-year-old that's fighting like a man. Like she's literally a beast, not scared of anyone. And it's fucking crazy how they transform into this thing, but you forget that then. You'd be like having chats and like, I got to watch my P's and Q's. You're 14 or you're 10, you know, but you fight like an adult. Like you just, like Maddie went to the Golden Gloves and she lost the first fight and there was no more fights for her. And she was like, oh. And then there was a 13-year-old, she was like 10. And there was a 13-year-old there that didn't have a fight. That was 3 or 4 kilos heavier than Maddie. Was like, I'll fight her. And Maddie then fights her and loses to her, which is like fucking way older and more experienced and heavier. And then there was like a 15-year-old girl with 7 fights experience that was 4 kilos again heavier. And Maddie's like, oh, she doesn't have a fight? I don't want her to miss out. I'll fight her. And like, she had like 7. I was like, no one could leave the place without Maddie trying to fight her. So that transformation of like, sometimes I'd be like cornering 20, 30-year-old men they were like fucking scared to walk out, and then I have this like 13-year-old girl that was just like, oh, I'll fight anyone like right now. Like they just fearless, and like she was bred that way. Like
I've got a 13-year-old in my gym that like he's a hard spar.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It just makes you like. Cool. I don't know. Just appreciate the process of what that does for people. But I think you also got to remember that they're kids and they need to play, because I was pretty bad at pushing them, because I'm like, they're going to go all the way, like, and I would push them pretty hard, and I like to a point definitely too hard in other areas, and then some areas not enough. But you're still learning, like as a coach. Like I was a young coach, man. I was like 25, 26, still doing my life, and then also like committing to 6 days a week, like coaching, traveling with them while still working full time in the army, like doing all that. As I said, 1 foot in, 1 foot out of both things, and you make mistakes and fucking mismatch someone or what I mean.
I've done that too. I had a fucking run at boxing coach. Yep. The Queensland amateur tournaments.
Yeah, nice. The AIBAs.
AIBA. No.
The Olympic Committee one, or the fucking ABC, I think it is.
I had to get registered with the fucking boxing association. Fucking who was it? Fucking Australian Institute of Sport. So I had to get AIS certification.
Yeah, it would have been AIBA, the Australian Institute of Boxing Association. I think it is.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Anyway, we did Queensland amateur tournaments. I remember the first one I ever did. I think it was actually on one of fucking what was your old one of Steve's shows. Yeah. So I did one of the amateur shows. I had one of my boxers fight in the undercard for the Muay Thai, because it was unsanctioned or whatever, and then had a run at that, and then fucking got my registration to start doing the amateur boxing shows, which were fucking wild. They'd have like 120 fights on in a day. Start at 10 a.m. and they finish at like 2 a.m.
Big days. Yeah, I don't miss that. I don't miss that.
But yeah, same thing. Like the first time in the corner, I was just as nervous as the first time I fought.
I get more nervous. Yeah,
freeze up like fucking. I don't know.
You can't speak English. Just
fucking punch him.
Just win better.
Yeah. You want to win? Yeah, go win.
Yeah, man. It's fucking. I had a few, man, that got to a point, and like it was all the parts of it when I was coaching. It was like not all about me, but like I would be talking to him, and it was like I was playing Xbox. I'd be like, yep, like kick, like, you know, like telling them everything, all the information, all the time. And a good bit of mentoring came from my coach at the time. And he's like, you want to prepare them so they're so ready to fight that you don't need to say anything. You shouldn't have to tell them how to fight. Let them figure it out. Like you're out here playing bloody Xbox with them, fighting the fight for them. Let them figure it out. Like either coach them better in the preparation so that the only time you're the water boy, you just walk in the corner, you're like, good, breathe, have some water, keep doing what you're doing. That's the testament to your coaching, was when they could problem solve, not me. So my fucking adolescent years as a coach was like, I'm still fucking a young coach, right? But like, it was about me. I wanted to be the guy that was like giving them the information that won the fight. And it was like, that information came 8 weeks ago in camp or 2 years ago in camp. They already have that skill set. You're just providing them the essentials that they need at the time. And if they're not seeing it, that third eye from that corner they can't see. But
he's dropping his right hand when he throws his left.
Yeah, you're moving the wrong way. He's a southpaw, whatever like that may be. Like, so that was, again, big piece of like where my coaching sort of progressed. And I started to get that. And I started to get these guys that were like problem solvers, very smart, good fighters. And that was a cool process.
Yeah, nice. I remember when I was fighting, I had a preacher in my corner who was just like,
how cool,
aggressive and fucking, do you want to fucking win? Get out of there, fucking.
Doesn't help at all.
Screaming at me. I was like,
but what do I do? I want to win, but just give me some information.
I'm fucking just. And then fucking, I had Shaggy in my corner for my last fight, and he was like that, just super calm. He's like, fucking first 20 seconds, just breathe, mate. Just breathe, relax. You know, you're doing really well. Fucking calm down. Massive difference. Just keeping calm and that was
it breeds
game
calm.
Changer.
That calm breeds calm. Even if you're losing, like to know that. Like my coach was always honest in the corner. Like you lost that round, you need to fucking work. You need to do this. You need to do that. Like where some people just lie to you to try to like that was a good round. That was a close one. You got it. You know, and like you take your foot off the, foot on the brake because you're winning the fight, sort of thing. Like you can't have that. But that calm breeds calm, and you only get it through cornering. Like you only get it through that experience of the more you do it. But I remember, I guarantee I was speaking like an auctioneer. My first few coaches, they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So,
just like anything, eh? But you feel bad for those for the first fighters that you were
my first fight
not helping.
No, I would have been 19 was my first fight. I think I got 18. Tane, his name was Tane Hudson. He's a great kid. He ended up winning a title eventually. And that was him once he won his title. And a lot of kids, once they get their belt, they, it's a black belt in martial arts or it's the title belt, and they get the one, they'll pull the pin. But he was overworked. He worked like a dog as a young fella. Didn't have much time as a kid. He was just in the gym all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So when he finally achieved the goal, I think it was 15 or 16, pulled the pin. But he was Islander and he had this huge right hand for a 15-year-old. The amount of times he wobbled me, I was like a grown man. He hit me and I'd be seeing 3 of him and I'm like, yeah, it was pretty good, man. You need to work on and tucking your elbow button. I'm trying to recover from being leveled.
You got a whole bunch of fucking black belts in different disciplines and shit, didn't you?
I don't know if you call it that. Yeah, the first coach gave me a black belt in Anderson Bushikai Muay Thai, right? So Muay Thai traditionalists don't have black belts. It's not a thing. You go to Thailand, it's not a thing. But in that karate style background of Muay Thai, I got a couple of them. And I got a Bushido cross, so I was a Thai boxer. So that's again a karate thing.
What was that one that the Black Dragon or something?
The Jissen Budo black belt. That one through Black Dragon Kai and what's that one? Paul Kale. So that was, I'll be political, and I guess you went in for a grading day and basically it was like a RPL of recognized prior skill sets or you've won X titles. You basically had to demonstrate your capabilities through sparring and pad work and theory knowledge and then test it against all these other traditionalists. So you're sparring kung fu dudes, Thai boxers, taekwondo, karate, Muay Thai, whatever. And Black Dragon Kai, Geordie, he trains his guys in everything: sambo, jiu-jitsu, judo, boxing, kickboxing. They can do it all, which is a super dynamic capacity for fighting, which I think is what fighting should be. I don't do jiu-jitsu, I fight, which means I'm going to punch you when we're on the ground. I'm going to punch you when we're standing up. I'm going to hop. I'm going to be able to choke you on the ground. I'm going to choke you standing up. I'm going to be able to throw you on the ground. I'm going to throw you on standing up. You can fight in all forms. And that's what he teaches, which is pretty much combatives is fighting on all forms. So there was a grading day where you got a black belt if you showed this required skills.
Oh, okay.
Which was more of an affiliation thing being connected through. So it was created by Paul Kale, the commando sergeant that started sort of the whole Combatives program. And it was filtered down through Geordie and Aaron and things like that. I think it was more of a connective piece to bring a variety of different skill sets under one banner, I suppose. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But yeah, I got one of them and a blue belt and BJJ. That's about all the traditional belts I have, yeah.
Not bad. Certified weapon. So you became a cop, but before that you're already fucking registered with them because your body's a weapon.
Certified spoon, mate.
Was that fucking that rumor going around that if you're a fighter, you have to. I've had so many people ask me that. They go, did you have to register with the police?
You have to tell them that you're a weapon if you assault someone.
Yeah. Before we go ahead, I just have to let you know that I'm a registered fucking lethal weapon.
I think I'd have to kill myself if I said that. Oh, mate.
Because you go to jail. You go to jail if you don't tell them.
Yeah. I remember, I'm way too old for this. I remember we went out to the casino. It was only 12 months ago, and this guy started my little brother, who's not little, he's 6'4", trying to get him to give him money at the ATM, sort of rob him, I suppose. And I was just I walked over to him, no, mate, piss off. And he's like, yeah. And like walked off. I was like, fucking weird. And then like 5 dudes came back.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, oh, yeah, we're on here. And I'm talking to him, and he, like, one of them steps out in front of him. He's like, you got cauliflower ear, hey? And like whacks his ear a couple of times. Me too. And I was like, mate, that was cringe. Like that is the most cringe thing I've ever heard in my life. Like he obviously picked out cauliflower
Probably
ear.
just grinds his ear.
Yeah, but I was just like, you would never say that. Like, sober you was going to string yourself out. Mate, that was fucking cringe. And then you pretty much just laughed at the dude, and Seckies came and just explained what happened, and they all just got kicked out. I was just like, fuck. That's some cringe shit to say to the start. So you got cauliflower, I got one too. Oh man, come on. It would have been like maybe 21. I said, that's not what I trained for, mate. Just give it a rest.
It's pretty rare when cunts that actually fucking
it's a lot to prove. Like,
I've never had a street fight since I learned how to fight.
Yeah.
Since I've had my first fight, I've never fought on the street again. Have a few confrontations here and there, but I don't know, it must be your demeanour or something. Like, you don't want to do this, and they go, yeah, no, we don't.
Well, see, I didn't really have that. People weren't like, I guess like second guess. Like, as I said, I had that thing where I wouldn't take a backward step. So I feel like it was on because they chose to, but I wasn't going anywhere. Like, it was like, you can say what you want to say, but I'm not going to bow down to you. I'm not going to apologize for existing. If you have a problem with me, it's your problem. But if you're going to try something, like, it's going to be ended. You know, like that was. Now I don't give a fuck. Like, I have a lot of shit to do, dude. Like, I'm going to mow my lawn tomorrow. I don't want to scrap right now. You know, like, see you later. You know, you say what you want to say. Oh, man, I'm not stupid.
Nothing to prove.
No, it's and like you see it all the time. Like, the people just have too much. But at the time, like, you know, I could have got myself in serious trouble by just not walking away. Like, there's a really good book on it called Violence of Mind. I can't think of the author at the moment, but there's only one book of it. It's called Violence of Mind, and it talks basically about, like, people are on these, like, different, like, levels, right? And you don't know where they ever are. So someone could have, like, this day where your dog got run over, you know, Mrs. got killed, like, had this terrible day, right? So he's on, like, level 5, like, ready to just murder. And you've, like, walked in and sat in line at Kmart, and then old mate on level 5 has just pushed in front of you, and you're like, oi. And he just turns around and fucking stabs you in the throat. And he's like, because he's ready to go there because he's been pushed that far. Like, and you can't assume where people are willing to go, right? Like, you can like, I'm sort of butchering it a little bit, but like, someone pushes in front of you a line, and it's basically how he breaks it down. It's like, unless you're willing to kill for that process, for that problem, then it's probably not worth having that problem, because you don't know where people are willing to go. So it's like, this guy might be willing to kill, to be in line because you've just pushed him that far, or he's been escalated that far. So it's like, it's not, unless that process is required, like, unless you really truly believe that this is what I need to do right now. Like, it'd be a different story if someone's trying to harm your child. You'd be like, all right, well, I'm willing to kill for that process. I'm willing. That's the purpose. So unless someone was threatening your daughter's life, it's not worth it today. And it was like, it sort of simplifies the fact of conflict. Like, I am trained to go there, but it's not worth it. Like, it's like so stupid that, like, people are like, I'm willing to die for this. So that's a stupid mentality. But he breaks it down. He breaks it down really well. And he was basically a guy that got attacked in his own house, and during that fight had stabbed someone multiple times in defense. And the guy survives, and he does 17 years in prison for this. And he basically writes about it. And this other guy stabs someone sort of on offense and does no time. And he's like, there's so many repercussions in which what could happen, whether if it's like law, like defensible, if it's like for your own social, if you've like killed someone out of your own defense, it's like, are your friends going to still be friends with you if they know you've killed someone? Like, your family's still going to support you. So that, like, social aspect, your professional, you're probably going to lose your job. You're probably going to jail. You're probably, you know, like, morally, are you going to be able to live with your own self? Like, for all these actions, like, is it worth it to have all those things questioned just because you don't want to take a backward step? So, like, I can see now how immature that mindset was, because I had something to prove, but, you know, I got lucky not getting killed or not being, you know, like, worse. So
it's so easy for it to go wrong as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you fucking crack someone on the street, they fall back, crack their head, fucking game over.
Yeah.
You know, fucking, it happens so often now too, you see it.
But it's all pride. Like, for most part, it's pride. Like, if you just walk away, Nothing.
Oh, yeah, I used to punch on all the time, but it was because I was so insecure and even scared, I would say, and I would like overcompensate by throwing down first.
I think people like scared is the right word for it. Like I'm still scared of fighting. Like that's the only reason that put me into fighting. I think I was scared of it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to not be scared of it. And you know what? 30 fights down the line, still scared of it. I don't think it's violence. Like it's scary. Like what's going to happen? You don't fucking know. That's the question you're answering. And yeah, man, like that's violence at the end of the day. I don't think anyone's not scared of it. Like,
no, you go into a fight, you're always going to have a level of fear.
You see people and you're like, he's definitely not scared of it. That's like, like you can only assume, but some people built a little bit different. But, like.
He's ready to kill.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
Cool, man. I'll fucking let you get on with your day.
Yes, dude. I got fucking appointments. What a talk. It's been good, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Nice.
I'll give you these before I forget. I often do.
Little prezzies. Thanks, bro.
Some fucking merch. Tell your friends.
Where'd you get them made?
Oh, fucking
Thailand.
No. It was ties and cuffs with the mob that made the key rings.
Yeah.
Pretty expensive, actually. Fucking treasure that.
Fucking will do, mate. Straight on the key.
Stickers, Sticker Ninja. I got those from. Fucking pretty good quality, actually.
That'll go on nice for half at home.
The Valor vinyls. I like them as well. I got some stickers done, but not. Where's my fucking bottle? Oh yeah,
on forever.
These fucking. Got some 81mm Industries.
Yeah,
fucking choose violence.
Choose violence. Because we're like, yeah, violence doesn't work, but also I have this stick on otherwise. We're gonna get some plugs in here, mate. Get some discounts. Like your old little what are they? Like your Joe Rogan podcast. How he's like sells like all the
all the little ads.
Man,
fucking,
get them going.
Oh yeah, fucking. I've got the affiliate code Jericho Australia. Put in the Grey Man podcast for 15% off.
Oh. Yeah, nice.
I've actually got the owner of Jericho coming on next week.
Oh, how good. Fuck, you've got some studs on here, eh? I don't know how you put me on this thing, but I'll go off to anyone that'll listen. No, it's been awesome, man. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
No, fucking thanks for coming, bro.
No, awesome. Take it easy, bro.